Tips for young DJs would be patience, probably. Play the long game, don't rush into anything, and don't feel like you're having to do everything all at once. A bit of a veteran now in this scene, I guess, having touring for kind of nearly 20 years, I would say that patience is the key, you know, and have a kind of, it's not always easy because sometimes people pop off really, really quickly and things happen overnight, it almost seems. But just try and ride that wave consistently rather than too many spikes, because, you know, gradually walking up a hill is a lot more successful than, you know, jumping straight to the top and then falling back down the other side, you know. But they, you know, they say, don't they, that anything that's an overnight success probably isn't an overnight success. It's been building up to that point, you know. But yeah, you've just got to be patient, which is hard because it feels like, especially with social media and people's attention spans, that everything is so reactive. Of if you don't catch people in 3-4 seconds, they've gone, you know. But yeah, I think overall patience is key with this, you know, this industry.
I want y'all to think about something for a second. DJing is truly an act from God, right? We take our two hands and our imagination and we shift the vibe in the room. We create energy, and we're also making memories memorable for all the attenders in the party. That's something that should be held sacred. DJing is an act of selflessness. It's not always about how we feel, even though we have preferences, but it's about the people. So understand this: doctors heal the body, therapists heal the mind, but the DJ heals the spirit. And it's not about clout, it's about calling. And when God calls you to help people heal through sound, that's sacred. Don't take for granted. Peace.
Creatives, you should stop making content. In fact, you should stop making art for your peers, that is. They're not your assignment and they're not your audience. You should make art for the people who love your art.
You ain't ready to put 5 years of grind into anything without making a quarter.
Right.
Don't even start. Sometimes it takes that long to get over the hump. They're not ready.
I think a lot of people go through this thing where if they share information, they're going to lose their business. They're going to lose their edge. Two things are true in this world. One, there's only one you, and nobody can do what you do, even if they try to copy you one for one. It's never the same. And then two, most people that you give information to won't actually take you up on your information. I could tell people right now how to start a business from scratch, all the pitfalls and all the things you should and you shouldn't do. And you know what? 2% will actually take my advice and use it. The rest of them either know better than me or are too lazy to make it happen.
Before it's time to spin, you've got to first cue it up.
I'm probably in your area too. Everybody who owns a laptop, they're a DJ. Everybody who owns a DSL camera, they're a photographer.
And what I'll do is put up blurbs so therefore you can see what I'm thinking about and why I chose that song. You can see the reaction of the kids. So you can kind of like get an idea of how to use it and what to expect.
Why do you want to charge for something that you have the knowledge of and these other DJs don't have the knowledge of? Share your knowledge, you know?
Right.
But DJing's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun too, you know? I'm DJ Mikey Mike. I cover central, northeastern Pennsylvania, southeastern Pennsylvania, parts of New Jersey, parts of New York State.
And I'm Dwayne Dixon, the Hitman D-Dub from Cleveland, Ohio. And it's time to cue it up. Okay, what's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Cue It Up DJ podcast with me, the Hitman D-Dub, and my friend DJ Mikey Mike, who is back with us this week. So how are things going, Mike?
I'm still recouping. Got 5 more weeks to basically get back on my feet, and it's a tough road. You know, you just got to listen to your doctors because you don't want to go through the surgery again. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Glad to have you back.
What? Excuse me, Dwayne?
I just say I'm glad to have you back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. You know, I'm starting to do more and more, but it's tough.
Mm-hmm. Because I definitely needed you last week when we had our technical difficulties. I was like, I need a story time from Mikey Mike at this point.
Should have pulled one up from the archives.
Uh-huh.
Go like this.
And I would like to introduce you to my other DJ friend, Chris Summers from the iShine Music Production Group. And he's the person that me and Kevin was referring to when we did our multi-op episode of who we were kind of like working with. So he's going to tell us a little bit about himself in a minute. But our podcast is a podcast for DJs of all skill levels to come, connect, learn, and grow from pro tips to real talk, where we are here to support and celebrate the DJ community. So last week was a good one. We had Tom, the representative from the Knot and Wedding Wire. And the key takeaways from that episode was let couples do most of the talking during your phone call. So he said he broke it down to try to have the couple speak at least 60% of the time while you're doing the consultation. Then the second takeaway was use a structured flow in sales consultations. And that's where I didn't have one. So I was pretty much freestyling it, but I did my consultations. But he broke it down to having an opening banter, then move into send the agenda, and then you go into your needs and analysis. And you try to stick to the client's experience that they want to experience from their wedding event. And not so much the details, or definitely don't talk about yourself or your equipment and all the other stuff. Keep it very client focused. And then after that, you do the show and tell, and that's where you talk about your experience and how you're going to bring the experience that they're looking for to life. And then you move into your recommendations. And then from there, you show how your packages align with their vision. And then they'll lead into their investment, not the prices of your packages, but their investment of what it would cost for them to achieve what they are visioning. So if you did those steps not perfectly, but if you set those steps to set up your closing, so the closings would be the easiest part if you did everything right. And then closing is usually what are the next steps. So I got a chance to practice that Monday. And then the third takeaway was be consistent across all marketing channels. Because I spoke about this before. I thought I was getting ready to lose a lead because my website didn't match the prices that was on my mobile website. So make sure that your prices is consistent. Make sure your style, when you go out and you try to go for a certain clientele, make sure that each one of your socials match and is in line with the vision that or the persona that you're trying to put out to your potential couples. Because remember, Tom said there's 4 places that couples go to before they come and call you. So make sure all those are in line. And then the last thing was follow up consistently and use automation tools to manage leads efficiently. And so that's my main thing I've been doing, and that's where I've been spending all my busy business time doing follow-ups. And I'm thinking I got that pretty much down. And so that brings us perfectly into tonight's episode with Chris Summers from iShine Music Productions. And so he's going to talk about from going from side gig to full-time freedom. So all of us that might be stuck in trying to transition to doing part-time to full-time, because still to this day, I still can't believe all the work that goes into being a full-time DJ. And then he also ran a multi-op. So that's even more work, because now you got not only worry about yourself, you got to make sure that everybody else is doing that, is representing you and your company correctly. So with that, Chris, can you tell us a little bit about your DJ journey?
Yeah. So thanks for letting me be on your platform. By the way, I know it's definitely been doing well, and I'm definitely glad to be here. And by the way, I wanted to shout out that intro. It was pretty sick. I like it. It gave me goosebumps. I think there was a part where they were talking about like how the DJ controls the spirit or something like that. Like I really like that. So I just wanted to shout your intro out. That was pretty cool. But yeah, really, my journey wasn't really like the most traditional journey. I'll give you the Spark Notes version of it, because we could be here all evening. I know there's other things you guys want to ask me. So I didn't come from a musical family. My family was fans of music for the most part. My mom came from Jamaica, so lots of roots into the reggae, soca scene, and some way, and that kind of got into hip hop, because like reggae, like hip hop, in a way was had reggae as an influence to some degree. My dad came from New York, Mount Vernon to be exact. Him and my uncles, when they were around my age and younger, would collect jazz records, like Motown records and things like that. So there was lots of music in my house. I was around music a lot as a kid. And then eventually I learned how to produce music to some degree in high school after being, made fun of for trying to sing a song in a recording studio. I was in a boarding school to be exact, so I had to find my own voice in a way, my own side to some sort of degree. So I learned how to produce music, and then overall learned how to DJ as well from upperclassmen of mine who took me in as like a friend. So that helped out, and then I learned how. Then I took it further at OU and Ohio University, and then also had a lot of had a lot of jobs, and I DJ'd on the side as much as I could. Not really as much. There were some DJs that I did work with that didn't really go the way that we wanted it to go, and then around 2018, after just dancing on the fence, and seeing how, like, when I got married in 2016, my wife and I, we saw how well our DJ did our wedding, because I thought wedding DJs were a joke. I thought, I had an impression of the wedding singer, when it came to wedding DJs. I'm with Adam Sandler, so that's how I looked at DJs. But my wedding DJ, he really did a good job, and I really started thinking, like, there is money in this. What am I doing with myself? I was working at AV company. I was working at call center. I was working at banks. I was doing insurance, like all this stuff that wasn't making me good income. And then I found out about mobile DJing and doing weddings and events. And then I DJ'd I started to DJ at a local company, and then I started growing to myself, and then I've been full time, but acting part time to some degree from 2018 up until 2024, when I became a dad, and then I really had to be seriously full time in 2025 because my wife became a stay at home mom. So and after trial and error and a lot of losses, I'm starting to feel the wins. So that's how I.
So basically, it almost sound like, did you back into DJing, or is that something that you wanted to do?
Like as a career, or just as something I like?
Just like because you had mentioned something about being a producer. Because I was going to ask you that later, because when I first met you and went to your website, I noticed that you had your own produced songs there.
Yeah. It went hand in hand a little bit, because when I was in high school, like I was made fun of, like like I was too black for the white kids, too white for the black kids, like it was like that. And the funny thing was when I sang that song at my high school, and I became like the William Hung of like the boarding school, and you didn't really have that much privacy, so you couldn't really take a break from your peers. I wanted to learn how to produce music because I at least wanted to you know get that skill, so that way if I wanted to do this again, no one can make fun of me. But then I started to like it. I started to like producing music, and then I learned that my mentor, who was a good friend of mine, I'll drop his name, DJ Willie Beeman. Like he and his roommate, they were DJing parties on campus. Like they were DJing high school, like they were DJing ice cream socials. They were DJing football games, basketball games. They had like basement parties, obviously with chaperones and stuff like that in high school. Um, I wanted to learn how to do that, and I was just like, I want to be like a double threat, Like I wanted to learn how to produce music, but also get to a point where like I'm playing my own tracks in front of people, and just keeping the vibe going. So this is me at 15, and it was myself, Willie, and his roommate. Like, three high school kids, vinyl. You got the turntable A, your deck turntable B, the vinyl turntable. They had crates. Willie would bring crates from his home. Like he would come back from his when he would go back on campus. He would have crates of vinyl of like from Tower Records and FYE. Like I'm really showing my millennial side. So like we would have like vinyl of like like Nelly Hot in here. So like side A would be like the actual song, side B would be like the instrumental. So we put one on there. One kid would be on vinyl A, one kid would be mixing, one kid would be on vinyl B, because we're all kids. We weren't big enough to like actually cut and scratch like by ourselves. We weren't fully grown. So like one person would press on vinyl A, and then another person would mix into vinyl A. So I was normally on vinyl B, because like at least on vinyl A, whoever was on mix, they could at least go back over, if the vinyl B is not working, or vinyl B sucks, because you normally mix off of vinyl A. But one time Willie had me go and do the mix, like do the mixing board, and I messed it up so bad. And his roommate's from Jamaica. Like, he's like straight up from Jamaica, and he was just like, "No, man, get off." So I get off. He just get off. I was embarrassed, but then over time, after you practice something over and over again, you start to get it, and then that's when controllers started to come up, and then that's when I invested in a DJ controller, and I think it was like a Newmark or something like that. So at least I didn't have to have like two other people help me. So and I had like virtual DJs, and then I eventually graduated to Serato after I graduated from college. So
Okay.
that's how that went.
All right. So the next question is,
Sure.
have you been brave enough to play any of your produced tracks at one of your gigs?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I have to be brave because that's what I'm offering now, and I'm actually doing reimagined tracks. If you go to my YouTube channel, and you go through my videos, I actually have reimagined radio, and those are all tracks that I produce myself, um, with um, with online technology. So I produced all those tracks myself, and basically it's songs that sound like the original but given a second life. They're kind of like cover songs, but not really. Um, so yeah, I mean, I have to be brave now because I'm offering that, like, since dissolving the multi-op, I'm basically DJ iShine now, 100%. Like, there's nobody else that I could sub out except for myself, and that's really my unique selling point, where I could also produce music and create music personally for my client. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to be brave. I actually tried it a little bit last year, and people were dancing to it. They didn't even realize that like I produced the track. So, and I got a little feel for how people would vibe to this new direction I was trying. Because shout out to DJ City, by the way. I download and collect beat remixes from DJ City, and I would play those. You know, like it's starting to get to a point where the client's like, you just take the wheel, you know, because like we heard about this wedding, and you know, the bride said you did what you needed to do, and they got that result. So I don't really get that many song requests. Like my must plays are getting smaller. Like in my do not plays, it's like yeah, there's like maybe 5 songs, but for the most part, I don't really get that many song requests. But yeah, I have to learn how to be brave to play my own produced tracks because it's
Yeah,
fun,
I haven't been brave enough to play it at peak hours. I usually try to slide in before they come in, or when I'm breaking down, or I might play like a beat and maybe do like the hook of something on mine and quickly get in just to get out to go to something else. So I haven't been brave enough to give them
What
a
do you
full.
produce? Like, what tracks do you produce? Like, what songs have you produced?
I'm just my own. And now
Oh, okay.
with Suno now, they make it so easy. All my little beats that I used to do back in 2020s, where I had to do either the I had the Sonic keyboard that had like
Yeah.
the built-in sequencers. Between that and a whole bunch of like loops and samples, I just took those kind of like unfinished songs and brought it over to Suno to try to soup them up. So a lot of
Yeah.
songs, a lot of the music that you hear on the show, that's I've basically reimagined or remixed it or souped it up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I want to just get on this wave early, because I mean, yeah, AI is where it's at, and like it's really split, There's some DJs that are like, or even some producers that are like, oh man, this is, you're not authentic. It goes back to like even when I was young. You know how they were like, you're not a real DJ if you press the sync button. I know you've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the same thing. Um, so it's like either you gotta learn AI, either get on a Suno or whatever, or you could keep doing what you're doing, but you're on borrowed time. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, but my thing is, it's it was cool when it first came out, but then of course everybody and their mama started to do it. So therefore, if you want to go above the noise, you still got to produce. It's just now, like what I was saying, instead of me hunting down samples, I can get the sample, the little links for me, and I'm still going through my DAW and still putting together the tracks the old way. It's just I can get to it quicker and get to a finished product quicker. And then as far as the engineering kind of stuff, like mastering and all that, I don't have to worry about all the all the scientific things, because AI can fix it and get to a finished product
Exactly.
and it go.
You don't even have to use musicians anymore. Like you can literally tell it like you can literally write the songs yourself, and then it will sing it, and it will sound really good. And it's crazy how like I never thought I'd see this type of technology. If you told my 14-year-old self that we'd be able to do stuff like this, he wouldn't believe it. So,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but
I
really
like
good,
it.
though. It's a really good.
Yeah, because I like Suno, because Suno also can. I don't have to sit there and learn the song, because I like sometimes some of the acoustic kind of piano kind of stuff. I still like to play it from time to time. So
Yeah.
with that, you can export it as a MIDI file, so I
Oh,
can
you
just
can do
bring it
that?
into the software that put the sheet music up there, and then I can know exactly what the notes are. I can go ahead and play it. So.
No way, you could actually do that now.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's crazy. That would take time and money to do that. And that at the click of an app. But yeah, the thing is, anybody can use Suno. Anybody could use whatever AI app. But you still have to have the ear, and you still have to have a good ear for music, and you still have to have a good pen to write a good song. Like it's like putting somebody in a recording studio that's never made a song or produced a song, and they're not going to suddenly make #1 hits. The same way with Zuno, like you still have to learn how to write well, and you got to learn like what songs are good at the right time. Like I've actually played some of my reimagined tracks um, during dessert. I usually do dessert mix, just kind of ease people into the next phase of the evening at weddings, which is like open dance, like the first dance while the bride and groom cuts their cake, and then they sometimes they're not ready to go right into the first dance, so I do a dinner, like I do a dessert mix just to wake people up. Like, hey, we're still here. You know what I'm saying? Don't get biased right now. So, like, I've dropped some of my reimagined tracks in that, and they did pretty well. Some people recognize the song, some people are like, oh, what's this? So,
Yeah, because I'm still trying to listen to your jingy right there, because you said what it was. So I'm still trying to listen to the song. I was like, because it sounded like a totally different song. If you didn't say what it was, I wouldn't have known.
yeah, exactly. It's funny because when I do those songs, it's like you don't like unless I tell you exactly what is derived from. It's like a guessing game. It's like you're dancing and you're guessing the song. What is this? Like I kind of know it, but I don't. Like what is like So I mean, if it ever gets to Chingy, that'd be great. And if you reposted it, that'd be cool. But yeah. I just notice the song sounds totally different than the original, right? So that show. It's kind of like that show Bel Air. You know that show Bel Air. No, I'm not talking Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Okay, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like Bel Air or, something like that. That's where I got the inspiration from because I was like, it's kind of like you're watching Fresh Prince of Bel Air, but you're not. But it stemmed from Fresh Prince of Bel Air. That's what I wanted to do in my catalog, and like I have like 1,000. I'm trying to get 1,000 reimagined tracks ready, before wedding season, and 1,000 beat remixes ready. So that way, eventually, I could just start playing my own catalog and then the couple. I still will honor what the couple wants me to play if they want me to, not necessarily go all the way producer and be the traditional mobile DJ. I can still play that stuff, but there's a reason why I charge the way I charge now because, like I look at myself as a creative partner. I don't look at myself as another vendor that you just check off. So that's just me.
And so that's going to lead us into our next section because that's where I'm at right now. Because trying to find my pricing range where I want to charge people what I'm worth, but I don't want to overshoot and then don't deliver. I'd rather come in at a nice range that I feel comfortable with and then over deliver. So because I remember when I first met you and your advice to me was, because I just retired and I was just trying to get some gigs, and I thought by going the multi-op way that I would be able to be busy. But you were saying your thing was it's not necessarily being busy, it's just it will take time for you to get in that mindset of being like a business person, because there's a business side to DJing, being a professional DJ. There's a business side. Of course, there's the DJ side. It's just trying to work and make sure that you have your stuff together before you reach out to clients, because the last thing you want to do is reach out and then have a bad experience, and that can like pull you back.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, price is really. I've struggled with pricing all these years. Frankly, like sometimes I wanted to charge just as much as the market, is. But then again, like having stocks in the stock market, like you don't know. It really depends on the market and how much you're going to make, and that's not really. Maybe it's good to to start things out, but eventually you want to get to that place where you define your worth and you're able to be like, nah, this is how much I am, and that really comes down to this. It really comes down to reputation, because we are at a point in the DJ industry. I don't know if you guys realize it or not, but I'm just gonna say it. The middle class is shrinking, and I actually learned this while I was at a conference. The middle class of DJs and multi-ops, that's shrinking. Either you're gonna have to be a DJ or respectively you're gonna be a sound guy. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by a sound guy is you're gonna be the type of the person to not really DJ as much, but maybe set up the speakers and do playback and make maybe a couple announcements off of a cue card. You're not really going to be DJing as much because you're going to be in more of an MC, not really necessarily a DJ. And the DJs are going to be the ones making the money that you'd want to make. And that comes down with your reputation and your skill set and content. The Not and Wedding Wire, I think they are on their way out, frankly. And that's saying a lot for me because I have those accounts and I did pretty well on there, and I appreciate my time there, but I'm just being real. You're gonna have to invest in your content. You're gonna have to really get your reviews up. I learned this from DJ A-Rock, a close DJ friend of mine. He told me about Google reviews, and at first I was a little scared to do it because I was like, should I do this? I don't know if people are going to go for it, but then I just went for it, and then I just kept networking and asking and asking and networking, and then I just keep asking, and then I just keep stacking up my reviews, and the more you stack up, the better you could position yourself to command. I'll do your wedding for 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Like I've met DJs that are DJing weddings at 10K, and they're doing nothing different than I'm doing. It's just that their name carried more weight, and that's what you want to do. You want to have your name to carry lots of weight. Not really give yourself number thresholds, but just aim to get as many reviews as you can. And also, I don't know if you guys are tech savvy like with ChatGPT, but you can do a deep research into your market, and you have to be really honest with yourself. Like I asked ChatGPT this morning, early in the morning while my son and my wife were still asleep. I said, I want to charge this much. Can you tell me how the market is in Columbus? Here's all my information. Here's all my reviews and my content. And it did a deep research on my name and matched me up with everybody in my local market. And it came back and it was like, you should be charging higher. And I was just like, I'm already charging higher already. Like, seriously? But I was just like, okay, let's just cool our jets real quick. I'll slowly go into your recommended range because I'm slowly getting used to this. But yeah, it's like you have to know your worth, and then from there, get to know your market, but don't necessarily price yourself in the middle of your market because you're really starting to play a very dangerous game, in my opinion. That's where I don't know if you guys use these apps like Thumbtack, Bark, all of them. I've been on all of them. That's where you'll get stuck in I call it the DJ rat race, where you're just competing on price and you're just like, I'll do it for 600. No, I'll do it for 500. No, I'll do it for 400. I'll do it for free. Like you're going to be running into more guys like that.
Yeah.
And even Facebook is just getting like that too. I mean, with the Facebook groups, a bride can easily go on Facebook and be like, I'm looking for a DJ for this date. I only want to pay, $500, $400. She'll get comments, and she'll get lots of comments, So if a DJ that is charging way more than that goes in there and volunteers, like what's stopping her from choosing 40 other DJs that already said that they could do her wedding at her price point? So it's all about where you want to be too, and where you want to be too in front of in this business. And I would say be in front of bridal shows and do open houses, getting good with your venues, getting good with your vendors, getting good with fellow vendors. You're just not only DJing for the couple, you're also DJing in front of photographers and venue owners. Like don't get full of yourself. Don't get full of yourself as a DJ. I could just say that because I've been in here long enough. There's so many DJs out there that feel like they're too good to do little things like release the tables or like that's not on my job description or just argue with the wedding planner because the wedding planner asked one little thing.
That's Mikey Mike's trigger word. Wedding planners, they do not get along.
I mean, I'm sorry if I'm stepping on your toes, Mikey Mike, but I just
No. I argue with them too.
That's our inside joke. The wedding planner.
But nah, I mean,
No,
like, I want us as DJs to be able to get to that point where we are charging, if just as much as a editorial photographer, if not higher, and we could do that because the event's not going to go anywhere if there's not good music, you know, like at the end of the day, these brides are putting together a big party. Or it doesn't even have to be a bride. It could be like somebody that's celebrating a sweet 16 or a corporate party, year end party. You know what I'm saying? Like holiday party. Like the things that matter are like the food, music, and the booze. You know, like honestly, you know. And if your music is if you want to just skate by and have a Spotify playlist, go ahead. You're probably gonna have people leave an hour later. But if you really want to have a party, you know that's where you have to have a DJ. And you know, as DJs, we just have to be able to really. The thing is, we're not really. You know, there's so many DJs all over the place. You know, and I think this is why we're having trouble with price. You know, because there's one guy here that's going to charge this much, one guy over that's going to charge that much. But really, when it comes down to your price, you just have to make sure that you know you have a spectrum of your market. You know, and you have to be honest with yourself. Like if you believe that you are commanding enough value to be on the top of your market, so let's say, you know, your market, the lowest in your market is $1,000, the highest is like 5,000. If you believe that you are at that level to charge $4,000 just for you to show up, and I'm not talking about bringing photo booth or dancing on a cloud or up lights or any of that stuff. You know, and no shade to my gear focused DJs, but you know, I'm talking about the DJ as the talent. I'm talking about your talent. So if you believe you're on that upper echelon of the spectrum, you have to be able to have good social proof and good content and enough social proof to validate that. I just want to see DJs be able to really unify on our pricing, because if we are able to do that, we wouldn't have a problem at all. You know, if you say you're to $4,000 in a Facebook group, and there's like 10 other DJs saying the same thing, that's fine. This problem is there's so many, like the bar is low, so everyone's undercutting each other. There's no OGs. There's no more OGs. You know that these young guys are coming in here, trying to do it themselves. Like, you know, at least when I came up, I had an OG. I had a couple OGs, you know, that I learned from, and these guys don't. So that's why we're in the situation we're in right now. But I do think it will turn around because the middle class is going away, and that's unfortunately affecting multi-ops.
Okay. So going back to, because you had made a point about charging what you're worth. And so that goes into how do you market yourself at that price? So because going back, I'm thinking about my social media presence. I was putting out a lot of stuff, and a guy had came and kind of like looked through all my socials and my website and all that stuff, and it seemed like there was something cool to do, but I was looking at it more from a DJ point of view or something my peers would do, as opposed to the what a client would be looking for. Because I noticed that you do a lot of Instagram posts, and you do a lot of, seem like, things more so that a client might be looking at to give them information. So what kind of suggestions do you have to like offer, or somebody like me that's trying to get it together?
Do you want me to give you the nice answer, or do you want me to give you the direct answer?
I can handle direct, because nice is not getting me to where I need to go.
Okay, well, this is not just to you. It's just to anybody that is on social media. If you don't know how to do social media, you're gonna need to hire somebody that does. That's just straight up. And I knew that, and I was trying to do this on my own for 7 years, and then I hired, and I'll shout him out here because I do think, you know, I do believe he's definitely worth the investment. Jacob Michaels, you know, make sure to follow him, Jacob Michaels. So like I reached out to him, and he basically he basically helped me out a lot with my Instagram, and a lot of pointers went in. Like there was a lot of pointers with that, and really, when you put your Instagram together, you have to be able to speak to your ideal client, not speak to other DJs. You know what I'm saying, or promote yourself. Like what I was doing before I hired my consultant, I was posting a lot of DJ about reels of me DJing, and that was great for foundational content, but not long term because you know at some point it's like people will get okay he can mix, so what else can he do, you know but then it comes down to value. You have to be able to eh, explain a problem, then give a solution, because I have reels on there where I talk about um, why a DJ costs $3,000 and what goes into that price. It's not necessarily add-ons. A lot of DJs are trying to get to that price by selling more stuff. That's not going to work anymore, because what's stopping me from buying the same stuff so and so over there is buying and charging, if not lower. I've seen guys do that before. It just it comes down to your talent. I've done reels where I talk about testing the mic energy of your DJ. Um, you have to be able to give value to tasteful value to your ideal audience, and sometimes just take your phone out like this and just talk to them, like you're doing a FaceTime, and post it into your stories. But I would say, if you need help with your social media, talk to Jacob, Jacob Michaels. Like he's really good at what he does. Hopefully I send him more business his way. you know, like I would say, definitely talk to somebody like that. You know, there's tons of social media consultants out there. Make sure to check out their work before you commit to them. But you know, if you know if you know that you're sick, and you're not feeling well, and let's say like let's say stroke, like for example, stroke runs in my family, right? I wouldn't do open heart surgery on myself. You would hire a surgeon, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like the same thing, So you kind of have to be real with yourself and be like, if I'm not good at social media, I'm gonna have to hire somebody that does, or this DJ thing is just gonna be a part-time freelancer thing, and I'm not really gonna get to where I need to go. And knowing the position that I'm in now, I had to get there, and I have to, stay there because I have a household that depends on me. I have a little boy that depends on me, and my wife depends on me too. So, it's worth the investment. But yeah, definitely invest in your social media. Definitely invest in somebody to help you. Don't run ads by yourself if you don't know what you're doing. And I've done that plenty of times. Don't put up a Facebook ad if you don't know what you're doing, because you're gonna waste so much money. Make sure whoever you work with as a social media consultant or a brand consultant knows how to put together good ads, and just check out their content, check out their past clients. They're not cheap, but I'd rather pay a few thousand to a social media consultant, and then turn around and know that I can make that money back 10 times over time, as long as I do what they say.
Okay. Because that's what I'm trying to hold on as long as I can, but it's coming to the point where I might have to look into having someone else do it. It's just for the sake of trying to juggle or wear, I should say, a bunch of hats.
Yeah, you want to give up a hats. You want to give up your hats over time, and that's one thing that a consultant, or even a business consultant, could help you with. Um, you could eventually learn how to hire people to do your admin work, so you could focus on your craft. Because I have a VA that does my Instagram for me, and I use professional apps. I don't use Google Sheets anymore. I use Trello. Definitely use Trello for for your leads. Um, and yeah, like because I'm able to buy that time back, because I have a VA, I could buy that time back. I could be downstairs in my studio basement and just be practicing. I could just keep practicing my mixes. I could produce more tracks. I could spend more time with my family. That's really the freedom right there, and it takes time to get there because you know it depends on how serious you are. But yeah, it just frees you up too. And also, I use Vibo now. I mean, Vibo obviously inked a partnership with Vibo. So wedding season is not going to be as shouldn't be as busy for me because when it comes to the prep work, because Vibo will literally take care of everything, and I could just review it and just hit print as PDF, download the songs, I'm done. I have the rest of the week to myself. Because back then when I had the multi-op, because I had so many guys that had so many different preferences, I had these in-house made forms, and those were good. But they asked like so many questions, like where are you gonna set up here? Where do you want us to set up? What type of electricity's out here? Like all these questions that some brides didn't even know. And but I had guys that were frankly fixated on that very type A, and I had some guys that unfortunately did mess up a couple times, so I had to put that in there. But since it's now me, I don't really have to worry about using those forms anymore, and the planning experience could not feel like homework. It could be like something it could be like a video game now with Vibo, because you know it saves as you go. And with what I was using, it was like once you filled it out, you filled it out. It's kind of like Taleo, when you would go fill out your job applications online, that little software, and once you filled it out, you filled it out. Like I'm like I can't be doing this to these brides. Like I can't be having them think like they're filling out their timeline, like they're filling out a job application. Because what I would say was, if you have a Notes app or a Google Docs, just put your answers in there first and then copy paste them in when you're ready.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, the way that I market myself now, I can't be doing that to them. Like it needs to be fun. It needs to be like, again, like it feels like they're playing a video game, and that's kind of what Vibo does. So I would recommend those things.
Yeah, because I use Bible, and that's why I like because
Good, use Vibo right on.
yeah, because I like also I think it's either Rick Webb or Rachel Lynch. I, or both of
Oh,
them. I just borrow from them, and for each section, I kind of like that's how I educate my couples because I
you
put
could book
things,
them quicker too.
huh?
You could book them quicker too. I mean, like you basically, what I did was, and I learned this from one of my new DJ buddies. Her name is Jess, out in Pennsylvania. She said that you should be doing like walkthroughs of like do like a sample Vibo of them. They give you their social media, do a sample Vibo with them, and just give them a walkthrough of what it would look like if we were to work together. Because it'll start getting because like they most likely other DJs they're talking to are not going to do it anyways. They most likely are just going to get to the price. Like, okay, well, I could offer you this package for this much money, and you'll get 6 hours of dance lights, 6 hours of this. It's starting to become corny now. It's starting to become cheesy. No offense if people use packages, but we like this is pushing everybody, and which is what I'm happy about, is pushing us as DJs into like the talent direction,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll make more money that way, and our industry will become stronger too, and that's what I'm excited about.
Yep.
What part of PA is Jess from?
I think she's from the Pittsburgh area.
Okay.
She's on the board of the Pittsburgh DJ Summit.
Oh,
Oh.
cool. That's great. That is great. I'm on this side of PA. I'm the east side.
Oh, okay, so you're Philly.
Well, the show, The Office. I'm 12 miles south of Scranton.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. I
So
haven't been out
speak.
to Scranton. I've been to Philly.
Yep. So speaking about the summit, because this year was like the first year I didn't see it like advertised on in Facebook. So what is that like? What's this?
Oh man, you gotta be there. You gotta be there. I'm just saying, like I get happy talking about it because it was one of the best times of my professional life and maybe my personal life too. I mean, if like nothing beats nothing beats just meeting with like-minded peers of yours in your industry and just knowing that you're not alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's times I'm sure we've experienced at times as DJs where we just feel like we're all alone. It's like us against the world. We gotta pay these bills. We gotta get these gigs, grind, grind, grind. But you know, um, going to conferences like the Pittsburgh DJ Summit, like it's very crucial, very very crucial. And I was one of those DJs beforehand. I was just like, I don't need to go to conferences. I already know what I need to do. I'm not gonna. I don't want to pay so much money to just have somebody teach me how to mix two songs together. And it's not like that at all. Like you get insider knowledge. You get to network and meet DJs all across the country, maybe all across the world. Because there's some guys that fly in from the UK. I've heard about that. Um, you could get insider knowledge about like how the industry is moving so you could be ahead. And there's so much stuff that they told me like to just be aware of, and I've been leaking it a little bit in our conversation today so that way you know as DJs that are watching can be prepared. um and just overall the camaraderie, like ever since I came back from the conference, I've been talking to at least one, maybe two DJs for the conference every single day, and this has never happened before. Like I mean, we're not like best friends, and I'm gonna like go to their weddings or whatever. Like we're not tight like that, but it's cool to know that like you got your professional circle grows. Like because before the conference, like when I had the multi op, I had like maybe like four DJs, maybe five direct ones, and that's all I knew. When it came to DJing, that's all I knew. And then when I started going to DJ conferences like this one, I learned that I'm not as good as I thought I was. I'm good in my mark. I believe I'm good in my market. I've been around for this long, but when I went to that conference, there was some like when they like the key thing at DJ conferences is you need to go to the parties. And that's not necessarily saying you gotta get drunk or anything like that. I highly recommend don't do that. But because I don't even drink. But definitely go to the parties. Definitely talk to these DJs. Talk to the DJs. Just say like, cool to see you here, man. My name is Chris, and then they're like, oh yeah, man, I'm Dwayne. And then you just talking to them, and they're like, oh, so how long you been in this? Like, oh, I've been in it for 7, and like, let me give you a follow on Instagram, and then now you're starting to build your network, and it really comes down, your network is your net worth, and that's what they taught us there. And yeah, I would say, if you're watching this, definitely go to conferences like that. I definitely am going to be back next year. Um, because your mindset's very, very important, and you have to invest in your mindset, and that's what conferences are there for. I mean, bankers have conferences, lawyers have conferences, policemen have conferences, and it's cool to see DJs are having conferences too. And it's not cheesy stuff too. Like they actually like there was panel discussions of wedding professionals talking about how what they like in what they would like in a DJ, working with a DJ, and some tips how to get on their good side so that way they could book you more. Feedback from past clients that wanted to that have used like a DJ service, giving their insight on what they liked. Lots of sponsors there, just offering their services. I wanted up buying lighting. I didn't know I was gonna buy lighting that day, but I was like, what, it's an investment. And the guy said, the the guy said that he'll literally sell me one of the demo sets for 50% off. So, like, it was both lighting, both lighting, those lighting tubes.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I bought myself a pair, and I'm looking forward to using it this year because now my lighting is gonna look really, it's gonna look really better, and I think it fits for the way that I'm positioning myself too. So yeah, definitely don't sleep on conferences. And actually, there's just so many DJs that I met there that I would see on YouTube, I would see on Instagram. I saw them in person. Like I talked with Joe Budden, I talked with Jason Jana. They probably don't remember talking with me, but I remember talking with them. I shook hands with Nick Spinelli. Um, I I got to chat with Jeff Scott Gold. I saw him in the elevator. I saw him going up to the elevator, and there's plenty of other ones too that I got to chat with that I saw on Instagram. DJ Fatmatic out of St. Louis. Like I followed him, and he saw me. And actually, one of the DJs that saw me on Instagram, DJ Marcus, he recognized me, and we've been cool since coming back. Like
Mhm.
it's you know it's pretty cool. Like I definitely highly recommend going to conferences. And if you're not going to conferences, unfortunately, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're shooting yourself in the foot as a DJ, because it takes money to make money, and it takes money to build connections. You can't. You're not. You have to pay to get access to people. You know what I'm saying? People that will push you forward. And yeah, I mean, like one could say I could invest the money into new equipment, but you already have enough equipment. Like I would rather invest that money in growing my mindset, so that way I know what type of equipment to buy, and I already have insider knowledge of like what makes sense for this current market. So yeah, I can't stress it enough. Like if you're serious about your craft and you're really in this, and I mean when I in this, like this is like your full time thing, not a hustle. You gotta invest in your education. You gotta invest in your mindset. And that's where confidence comes.
Okay, so with the conferences, um, do you pre-register for the different? Is it called classes or sessions, or is it just here's the agenda for the day, and you just go to do it to it anytime you want to go to it?
Oh no, it's a full fledged day. It's like it's like the longest 2 maybe 3 days of your professional life. You get to know somebody really well in 2 to 3 days. After you've been to parties with them, and then you sit in a classroom with them for for the whole day. I think that's how come my professional relationships are better now. But anyways, they give you an agenda. There's different tiers. Every conference is different. I know there's some conferences where you just pay for the classroom, and then you gotta pay extra to go to the parties, and pay extra to be in the VIP, lounges and stuff like that. But I don't think the Pittsburgh DJ Summit is going to be doing it like that. At least not right now. Um, Maybe in the future they will. But my ticket that I got, and my family, shout out to them. They helped me get there. Because I was in a very tight spot, but I needed to go to a conference. But the ticket that I got gave me access to the general classes and the opportunity to be a part of tiny desk sessions, which is basically like the presenters would give 20 additional minutes in the afternoon of their time, and they will chat with you one on one for 5 minutes, and they would only have like 4 spots. So you had only 5 minutes to talk to, the presenter that you just saw. They'll give you game. You know what I'm saying? You basically ask them, questions about how to get ahead, or anything that has been messing you up, and they'll try their best to give you answers. And you just gotta make sure that when you chew the meat, just spit out the bone. You don't have to take in everything. The thing is, when you go to these conferences, you don't want to be treating like you don't want to be treating the presenters like prophets. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to know everything, and on top of that, you know, not everything that they say may work for you. But when it comes to my ticket, um, I had I was able to go to the general classes, and I was able to do the tiny desk sessions. I was able to go to the parties, and I was able to have I was able to go to the luncheon, um, the day two luncheon. They had a la carte tickets for additional sessions, and those were like maybe $200 or $300 a pop. They had like four people, I think, four additional ones. Like one guy, I think DJ Jack Christian. Like I've seen him before. He's the TikTok guy. He's very big on TikTok. He did a session about social media. Another guy did a session on lighting. Another guy did a session on like collaboration. Like so, they had these little like pop up sessions that you could do before the conference, like pre conference classes. Um, the general ticket definitely got me a lot, um, but I do believe in the future that as Pittsburgh DJ Summit does grow, I think they are going to have to start tearing off the tickets, so that way the people that want the general education, they have access to that, and they'll have like they give you like these little lanyards around your neck that you can wear, and it just has your name and the type of ticket you have. But yeah, it was a good. Like basically, you just get into the general classes, and the tiny desk sessions, and definitely go to the parties. Stay for the whole thing if you can, because you get to the longer you stay, the more people you meet, anyways.
Okay. And then, so what is the when do it usually happen?
What was that?
When like when do it usually take place? So next year I don't miss it. I can start
Oh
looking for it.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, this is the first I heard of it too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys should definitely, And I'm not sponsored by them anyways. I just really like the conference a lot. It was my very first DJ conference ever, first of many. Usually the next one I think is going to be the second week of January, second week of January 2027.
Okay.
I would say hit up DJ A Rock or DJ Jess, um, for tickets, or you could just just Google Pittsburgh DJ Summit, and I think they might be having a sale. I don't know, but get the tickets while you can, at a good rate, because I think as usual they will go up, and then on top of that you have to account for your your room, but they should have room blocks as time gets near. They probably will have room blocks so you could save some money. But yeah, I already got my ticket ready to go. They gave us a really nice discount.
Yeah.
Like I was like a flash sale, so you're able to get in quick.
Oh, so you got it for next year.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll be back.
He's jumping ahead already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I probably was like one of the first people for next year to register because the tickets were on really good sale. I wouldn't. I just need to have conferences like going in my career. I cannot go to one. And I'm thinking like once my wife and I were talking about like once my son, is in grade school, then I would bump it up to 2 conferences. But for now, one is just fine.
Oh, okay. So I see
Have
Kevin
you
is
ever been?
yeah, Kevin is in the chat.
Hey, Kevin.
Have you ever been to DJX, Chris?
I want to go. I really do. Like, there's so many conferences that are out there that I want to go. I want to go to DJX. I want to go to PBX. I want to go to Midwest DJ Summit. I mean, the Midwest DJ Summit live or something like that. There's so many out there I want to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go. If I could go to all of them, I would. But
DJX. Oh, I'm sorry. DJX is. I've never been there. The first year we were supposed to go down, me, my wife, and it happened to be COVID landed, so that killed that. So that canceled out for 2 or 3 years, and then we were supposed to go down. My wife lost her job, and it just then she had to have her hip replaced, and it was like every year right around DJX, something happened in our family, so we couldn't go down. But I'm planning on this year. God help, that I make it through and everything is healthy, and I definitely want to get down there. But like you said, definitely socializing with other DJs. That is so crucial to DJs, and they don't realize that. Sometimes they put themselves up above another DJ.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I never will do that. Will Silva, DJ Will, he's been on the show many times. He filled in a couple weeks ago for me. It's so funny. He sent me a friend's request. Oh, Jesus. I think it was right around COVID, and accepted. Before I accept anybody's request, I check them out and see who they are and whatever, because there's so many strange people out there today.
Yeah, yeah.
So check them out. Yeah, all right, I accept this friend's request. And we just started, chatting back and forth. And then the one day, me and my son, because I have a lot of physical limitations. I messed up my back, my neck. I have a spinal cord stimulator in my back. So me and my son were setting up for a wedding, and my son does all my setup for me. And all of a sudden I hear, "Hey, Mike." Okay, I know I'm in Wilkes-Barre, so a lot of people know me. Yo, DJ Mikey, Mike. I'm like, I see. Will, what's happening, man? I got out of work early. Come on, I'll give these guys a hand. I'm like, I mean, that was the first time I ever met him physically.
Yeah,
And
that's
he was
crazy.
right there giving me a hand, giving Michael a hand. I was like, well, you didn't have to do that, Mike. I'll stay. I'll help these guys break down at the end of the night. I said, no, man, the poor guy lives up in Stroudsburg, which is like a 45-minute ride from Wilkes-Barre. I
Mhm.
appreciate the help, just have him help set up and everything like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we, DJ Tyler is a very good friend of mine, and he's Jamaican. And like, if I was booked for a wedding, if I was booked for whatever, and a friend called and needed a DJ, boom, I'd right over to DJ Tyler. Well, DJ Tyler, he moved to New York City. Even though he lived out in New York City, I'd call him by say, "Hey, Tyler, I got a Sweet 16. Like, I'll be in." I mean, the gig could have paid $200. He didn't care. He was coming in just to do the gig because we're
Yeah,
good friends like that.
yeah.
But then he joined the service and he's in the Air Force and he's out in California now. And I'm like, I always had a great backup DJ.
Right.
And I seen Will a bunch of his videos. I'm like, that's Will. I said, Will, if I ever get double booked, you mind, or if somebody calls me, you mind picking up the gig if you have the opening? Yeah, I'm like, no problem. So I know other DJs that they pass a gig on to somebody else, but they're expecting a little cash back from passing the gig on. And I passed I think it was
Yeah,
a wedding and something else on to him. He's like, "Well, what do I owe you?" I'm like, "Dude, you don't owe me nothing.
yeah,
You're the one who DJ'd it. It was your equipment. I'm thanking you for DJing for me because it was a friend of mine. Like this past weekend, I couldn't DJ because of the surgery. It was a volunteer fireman's department. They had their installation of officers, and I've done their so I have done their party before. And how is it? The husband and wife. The husband, he's a state trooper. The wife, I think she's a teacher or something. But I did their wedding
yeah,
when they wanted this installation of officers. The first DJ they thought of was me.
yeah.
Boom! I did their gig for them. They called me this year, and I said, "All right, when's the gig?" The 24th. I'm like, "I'm sorry, I can't do it." They're like, "Oh man, are you booked?" I said, "No, I'm taking an extra 8 weeks off. I'm having surgery." And they're like, "Oh, okay, no problem." Like, they're all down the mouth. I'm like, "Listen," I said, "Hang on, before you hang up the phone, I got another DJ. He is an excellent fit for you. Believe me, me and Will are like peas in a pod. Even like with Dwayne, I mean, I see the way he DJs. If he was closer to me, I'd be passing a lot of stuff to him too.
Right, right.
But it's just you have to watch who you're passing the gigs to,
Yeah, yeah.
and you don't want somebody going out there, even though you just passed the gig over to them. In some ways, they're still representing you. They're
Hmm.
not putting your name up or anything, but it's like, well, BG Mikey Mike refer this guy to us, mad that he suck. So it's like, I want to make sure I have something that's going to be reliable. It's going to be very attentive to the client, to the guest, everything like that. Not that he's going to put on his own little show.
Right,
So
right.
that's why everything goes to Will now. So it works out good.
Right, that's good. I mean, like that's the way you need to do it, and that's why going to conferences is important because at least you could now pull. If you go to a conference and you meet the right DJs, you could now pull from a pool of DJs that you could rely on.
Yes.
They may not even have to be in your backyard. You could be like, hey, do you know anybody in my area that's
Hmm.
just good? Like you don't know what people know, and yeah, I mean, all I say is this because I used to ask for like gratuity whenever I would pass a gig off, but I'm just like, yo, if you have space to do it, just send me a Chili's gift card or something like that.
Yeah.
Just send me a Chipotle gift card, like send me an Amazon gift card. Give me something that like that's stuff that I actually like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
you know, I I'm not, like you're the one doing it. All I just ask you to do is when you DJ this person's wedding or event, just remember, like I'm the one that referred you out. So You know, if you mess up, it's gonna make me look bad to some extent, and
Exactly.
it'll make you look like I have poor judgment and or my network sucks. You know, that's why you have to
Yeah.
go to
Yeah.
conferences so you can.
I know a very good friend of mine. His name is Mike, also, and it was him and his wife's 60th wedding anniversary. He calls me. He goes, Mike, can you do my 60th wedding anniversary? I said, Mike, when is it? And he gave me the day. I said, Mike, I said, I'm so sorry, I'm booked already. And he started yelling at his wife on the phone. I'm like, Mike, don't yell at her. I was booked for this date a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Now I don't know what we're going to do. Just hang on. I got a perfect DJ for you. DJ Tyler. Okay, Mike. As long as you say he's a good DJ. I said, Mike, you're going to love him.
Yeah.
So I'm at my gig. I'm all set up. You know, it was before the guest arrived, and I get a phone call from Mike, and he's like, Mike. I said, yeah, Mike. He said, the DJ you sent? I said, yeah. He's black. I said, no. Yeah, Mike, I'm looking right at him. He's black, right? And I'm like, no. I said, Mike, he's Jamaican. He's Jamaican. I said, yeah. I said, but Mike, honestly, you're going to have a blast with him.
Yeah, you will.
Now they're married. It was just their 65th wedding anniversary. I did a little gig at our church, and he came right up to me, and he still, till today, is thanking me for sending DJ Tyler to him. And that makes me feel so good that their 60th wedding anniversary went down in such a great fashion. That means the world to me. I don't look for a pat on the back. I don't look for this or that. I was in two different magazines that they had me in, you know, DJ Mikey Mike, and I'm like, I don't want this type of recognition. I just want to go out, play music, put a smile on people's faces for a wedding, for whatever. I mean, it's just something I love to do. You know, and I'm not selling myself short either. You know, I mean, there's times that you look at a couple and they want to have a nice, beautiful wedding, but the cash ain't there. So will I bend? Will I work with them? Yes. I'm not just gonna give myself away for free. But I did a wedding that the couples they were eating off paper plates.
Yeah.
They didn't even have it catered. They cooked all the food themselves. So I'm like, they're like, well, what do we owe him? I'm like, listen, I gave you the price before, but here, knock this up, this amount off. This is what you owe me. That's it.
Yeah, you're
Dude.
touching on a good point because it's like, as long as you're honest with me, like I will work something out with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't like, yeah, I charge high, you know, because that's just where I am in my career. But if you're just honest with me as a customer and just say, hey, I really like you, I can't afford you, but I want to see about is there ways I can work with you.
Yeah.
I'm willing to meet you in the middle as long as it's reasonable. You know, it may not be, you know, as long as it's reasonable, but you know, it just comes down to the connection of the customer or the client. I mean, I do have a two-step verification on my website where the client has to check that they do understand that this is how much I am and they're cool with whatever I charge within
Yes.
that range. Like, so that way we could have no awkward conversations about budget, you know, like either it comes down to connection at the end of the day. But I've had it happen before where where people that really wanted to work with me were like, hey, that's pretty high. Is there a way that we could work something out? And I'm like, absolutely. How about this rate instead? You know, I start like slow. You know what I'm saying? I don't go all the way down to my insurance floor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, how about here? Let's do it like here. Let's do it here. And then like, okay, okay, this is as low as I could go. But what we could do is we could just instead of doing 50% down, I'll throw you a bone. And you could do 30% instead, and then you just work your way up to the other part of the fee. I'm willing to do that, you know, because like I'm not so money hungry. I really am not. I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. I gotta make money. You know, I
Oh
got.
yeah, definitely.
But I'm not like so strict in my parameters. I'm willing to help people out if they really want DJ iShine at their wedding or their event, and they heard good things about me, and I have the date available. You know, why not? So
Yeah. I mean, you could tell which client is sincere and
right,
honest about it, and you could tell the ones that are trying to nickel and dime you. You know, like
right.
it's like, wait a second, no, I'm sorry. You know, it's just it's unfortunate. There's people like that out in the world today. It makes all kind of people make this world go around. I try to associate with the people that I know they want to have fun. They want to have a good time. Here's my price. Jeez, Mike, I didn't expect it to be that high. Well, you want this with it yet too. So that's even more. Yeah. Oh, really? I'm like, yeah. But
Yeah,
you know,
ice.
I will work with you. I'm not gonna just say, hey, this is my price. Listen, if you can't afford me, move on to the next DJ. Um, no, I love to work with people. My main goal is, like I said, Chris, is to make people happy, make them smile. This world is crazy enough to begin with.
Yeah,
You put a smile on a person's face for 4 or 5 hours. You know, grandma, grandpa, Aunt Betty, Uncle Joe, Aunt Sophie.
yeah,
That you're making. You don't know how much longer they have on this earth. And you
right.
put that smile on their face that night, it goes for a lifetime. You know, it's unbelievable because you know the bride and groom will remember that for their lifetime too.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I love doing this.
Yeah,
I'm just so thankful that this is my job. This is my career. You know,
yeah,
after seeing how like if I told myself 10 years ago that this is where you're gonna be in life, I would not believe it. You know,
no,
I would be at 10 years ago. I'd probably be at a hotel right now, wrapping cables at work right now, a graveyard shift. I
yeah.
didn't think 10 years from now I'd be here, and really it's just down comes down to the clients. Like I really got so much love for my clients. I really do because
Oh God, yeah, you have to. You know, it's we're in a business that we're out in the spotlight
yeah,
up until the event.
right,
The day of the event, we're the ones who step back, and the bride and groom are the ones that are in the spotlight. Then you see a lot of DJs, they want to be in the spotlight too. It's like, oh no, wait. It's their day.
yeah.
It's time for you to step back.
You're in the wrong business, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
And with our show here, I tell Dwayne, thank you so much for everything that he does. I mean, he's the backbone behind all the graphics and everything like this for the show. I'm doing a lot with my mom. She has dementia and sundown syndrome, and you know, me and Dwayne, we were with DJ Cool Thing, and we had another show, and then all of a sudden, boom, that broke up, and then me and Dwayne decided to do our own, and knock on wood, we're
Yeah,
doing it. You know, it's
you've got a good thing going.
yeah,
Yeah,
and we're
it's
meeting a
a-
lot of nice people, and maybe next year, Dwayne, we could do the Pittsburgh DJ convention.
Yep, I just
I'll do
pulled
it
it up.
someday.
Oh, and this is about the time that the people from Start to Spin is showing up in our chat. So Buddy just came in the house. Dan from the
What's
Shuffle
that?
Couples here.
Hey,
And then they said your mic is low, Chris.
how about now?
It'll be a minute because it usually take it's like a 30 to 60-second delay on YouTube before they hear it.
Were you guys able to hear me at all this whole time?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I heard
absolutely.
you, but you were just low. Maybe it's because you were sitting
Yeah,
back,
I was sitting
relax.
back. Yeah, yeah. How about now?
How long have you been doing this, Chris?
Oh man, 8 years full time, 20. Actually, I think it's changed. I lost count, but 8 years full time. I started in 2005, so whatever. Like I think 21 years.
Yeah,
Yep.
you basically I'm just like 23 years now,
Okay.
and it started off as a joke for me. My buddy was supposed to DJ my nephew's graduation party, never showed up, and we're calm, and he's like, "What time's the party?" I said, "Mookie, don't bother coming now, man. You know, it's going to start in a half hour. So I ran out to Circuit City. I bought a little iDJ now.
Circuit City.
Yep. iDJ now mixing station. Then I went over to Musical and Music
Okay.
Around, and I bought two little 10-inch passive speakers and what do you call preamp. Plugged that in, a wired mic, and that was it. My sister-in-law made a sign from behind me, DJ Mikey Mike, but she spelled it Mikey.
Yeah.
Well, here there's another DJ Mikey Mike in our area, and that's how he spelled his name.
Yeah.
And he had a bad reputation, so I figured I better change the spelling of my name, you know.
You kind of have the Dr. Dre syndrome. There's two Dr. Dre's, right? You know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
DJ Dr. Dre and then Dr. Dre, the music producer. You kind of have that type of syndrome a bit.
My a very, very, very good friend of mine, I DJ'd his nephew's wedding, worked directly with Dr. Dre.
Which one?
The one with the beats.
Oh yeah, music producer, Dr. Dre.
Yeah. He they've worked with him for Jesus since he left Capitol Records, and Dr. Dre started Beats. Dave went over to Beats with Dr. Dre. Dave's dad got cancer, and they said they don't think he's gonna make it.
Oh man.
So here he called, he called Dre. He's like, listen, he said, I gotta get back home. My pop ain't gonna make it. He has cancer, and Dre said, yeah, no problem. Listen, just hang loose. My driver will be over for you in 5 minutes. So,
right on.
What do you mean, my driver? Your driver? And he goes, Mike, he said, I couldn't believe it. He said, the driver picked me up right to the airport, right on Dr. Dre's Lear jet. Flew right here to Avoca, Pennsylvania. Had him here. And all Dre did is call him up. He said, listen, when you need to come back to work, you call the flight. I'll give you all the information. You just go up to the airport, and the airplane will be waiting there for you.
Nice. Well,
and it was, he enjoyed his time. He loved Dre. He said, Mike, he's one of the nicest guys you ever meet. Honestly, I'm like, cool, Yeah. But then he ended up leaving there, and he started his own marijuana plant.
It's a chronic in real life.
Yeah.
Not like the album Real Life.
But it was a lot of people left iTunes at that point in time, because iTunes was being sold to Sony.
Right.
And the management was like bad, so 90% of the employees were like, get out of here. We want our sanity. We're basically management personnel left in.
Yeah.
Whatever they had, they started a marijuana farm, and boom, sold that. Now he's back here. He's a multimillionaire.
Yeah. I wanted to say that when you mentioned Circuit City, when Circuit City was around, I was just a little kid. Like I was just a little kid, and maybe I just remember going into Circuit City and like Radio Shack and all these like mini Best Buy stores, like the sub Best Buy stores.
Yeah.
Geek Squad saved Best Buy, because Best Buy was on its last legs.
Yeah.
I remember going to those stores, like, those speakers, and when you said passive speakers, that's what we did in high school.
Yeah.
We had like again the guy on the mixer, and then one vinyl, and then those big heavy passes. We had to use the dollies to get them in because you're a kid. You can't pick them up. Just you get by yourself. So,
and they didn't have no handles because they just had the felt on them. That was it.
Gosh. Are they still using those? Are people still using those, or is it like gone?
Matter of fact, there are a couple DJs around Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area that are still using them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, what, are you nuts?
There's knockoff line array speakers that look like Evolve 30Ms and Evolve 50s for like a fraction of the price. Just go get those.
Yeah, exactly.
Work your way in,
Yep. Man. Now, Best Buy. My son works at Best Buy, plus he's going to school, become a nurse, and he works at the hospital too.
Okay.
So my daughter bought him a computer case, and then over the course of the year, he was buying all the guts for the computer. And I said, dude, who's going to put the computer together for you? He said, oh, Dad, I'll take care of it. Okay. I was like, Dad? I'm like, yeah. you think you can help me put my computer together? Well, Dad put the whole computer together. He was
Yeah.
just handing me the stuff that I had to, the screwdriver or this or that. But
Mm-hmm.
here we got it all together, and all of a sudden plug it in, and there's no monitor. I mean, it's just all black. I said, Michael, I said, what do you,
Yeah.
what do you have the monitor plugged in at? Well,
Yeah.
to the graphics card. I said, no, no, no. You got to plug it into the motherboard because it has to download the drivers for it. No,
Yeah.
Dad,
Yeah.
I put that new graphics card. I said, doesn't matter. You have to put it into the graphics card on the motherboard.
Right.
So
Right.
well, I'm going to call my buddy on the Geek Squad. So his buddy on the Geek Squad who went to school for 4 years for
Yeah.
a computer, whatever. Oh, Mike, your father blew up your graphics card on you. I told him, I said, Michael, watch this. I unplugged his cable. I plugged it into the one on the motherboard. I said, oh, look at that. I said, you know what? Tell your buddy I went to school for 4 years,
Yeah.
computers. He can kiss my dupa.
Right.
He
Right.
didn't know what to say. Man, was my son happy. He was happier than a pig in crap.
I find it funny because like I don't know if it's me, but and I can say to myself, I'm not really good at computers, but I am somewhat tech savvy. Like every DJ that I've met has somewhat decent
Yes.
experience with computers. Like A Rock told me that he would buy computers and like open them up and like make them different or something like that. Like I don't know, like advance them. Like
Yeah.
every DJ that I've met is like either good with computers or like with technology.
Because
Like my
you
my
were
wife,
able to overclock them and stuff. Now
yeah,
today, I mean, they got so advanced. You open them up, you're avoiding your warranty. You might break this part, break that part. So it's don't even buy what you could afford. Try to
right,
buy the best you could afford. If you're buying a PC, laptop, try to buy a gaming laptop. You don't have to get the best one, but definitely don't get the bottom grade laptop that's a gaming computer. Go like to the one step higher.
hmm
Um, I have a PC here, and I also use Macs. I'm bilingual, whatever you want to call it, because I worked in the printing industry, so I had to go from working on a Mac over to the PC, back to the Mac, back to the PC, over to the server,
yeah,
back over to the Mac servers, like boom, boom, boom. And I never went to school for it. Just something that I had to learn on my own, and
yeah,
turned out to
yeah,
be good.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
The worst thing,
I was going to say the main thing is when you get a computer, it's not really what you can afford. You got to make sure that it works with the software that you're going to use.
exactly.
right,
The
right.
worst
That's
thing
the
you could
main
spill,
thing.
worst thing you could spill on a computer is something like soda or something that's real sugary.
Uh,
That'll just kill your motherboard. If you spill water on it, shut it down, let it dry, and usually it'll come right back to life.
yeah,
But
that's true.
anything with like Coke or anything, that syrup will stick to that motherboard, and it's just toss it then.
I was
Yeah,
going to
that's
say
Put the
not
hard
a
drive.
Mac. A Mac will crash on you in a heartbeat. Just spit on it
Yeah,
the wrong way.
yeah,
right.
yeah. Oh yeah, I know, I know that.
So let's get
That's
to the
like
chat because our chat came in and because this is younger people because we're talking about Circuit City and all that. And so they have no clue what that was. Not unless they were with DJ J Brook today.
Yeah, Jay Booker's on, and he was
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yeah, so
anybody born
Circuit
after like 2005 are
yeah,
not gonna know Circuit City.
Circuit City will be equivalent to Best Buy now. And
Yeah.
Radio Shack will be equivalent to like Micro Center now.
Micro Center.
But there's a couple of questions that I was going to lead into what I was going to ask you too from Buddy. He was talking about what is the biggest hurdle to going full time and how did you overcome it? That was to Chris.
Oh, to me, the biggest hurdle of going full time was just believing in myself. Frankly, when you decide to do something like in the creative field, like DJing or anything, it could be painting or writing. It doesn't really get that. Like, there's so much stigma about it. It really just depends on the type of people you're around. Um, you know, mainly my family was more like the traditional 9 to 5 route. You know, something like that was considered on the side. And when I brought the idea up of trying to even start a business, it was like fall on deaf's ear, like do that on the side. And then I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy working, working for somebody. I wasn't happy having a job. It sounds really weird, saying that, but I could say that now because I could support myself off of what I do. I just wasn't happy with what I was doing, but that you just have to believe in yourself, and that's the nice answer. The direct answer is you gotta know what you're doing. You need to actually be honest with yourself and say, like, can I support myself for the next 6 months doing this? The smart thing to do, in my opinion, would be use your job to funnel your career. Like save up a certain amount of money. Maybe you won't go out for a couple months. Like go out and eat for a couple months, or maybe pick up a second job so you can save up some gear, save up on some advertising. Hire somebody to mentor you. Maybe hire somebody to, maybe just get some courses. Me may not even be in a position to hire somebody just yet, but save up. I would say save up a lot of money if you can to make that comfortable leap over to doing this full time, and definitely know what you're doing, and don't act like you get it right away, because like I've been doing this long enough and there's things I still don't get. Always be around like-minded people that can push you forward and can keep it real with you and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't post that stuff, you should do it this way, or maybe you should invest in learning how to advertise. Maybe you should invest in somebody putting together an ad for you. I highly recommend also ask to help out other DJs. Help out other DJs, and don't even ask for money. Just say something like, "Hey, I'm free this weekend. I can help you set up." And can I get some content? What I'm saying, can I take some pictures or video for my website? I'll credit you. If you're in the space if you're say to be a part of a multi-op, there's good and bad about it. There's definitely good and bad about it. I know Dwayne wanted to ask me some questions about that later, but when you maybe be a part of a multi-op, make sure it's a good multi-op that you see yourself with, because some multi-ops are it's kind of hard to do your own thing if you leave, because it's like you have to, because you can't take their clients with you, like whatever reviews you get goes through the multi-op, not you. So just be wary about that, but then again, we're in a time where you don't really need a multi-op as much to get out there. You could go on Instagram or TikTok. I would say Instagram, because I know TikTok has been running into some social problems right now. But I'd say go on Instagram and film yourself DJing, like I did in the beginning of my career. If you go further back into my Instagram, you could see me DJing. Like I made clips of myself DJing. I use iMovie. I would film myself DJing, then I would take the film into iMovie, and then I would make 60-second clips. I'd put a caption over it, and that would be the reel. I'll just keep posting up reels, and and then you just have to get good at networking. Just meet people in the industry. If you're new, again, offer to help them out. Offer to shadow them. It doesn't necessarily have to be shadowing another DJ. You could help a photographer set their stuff up. You could help a wedding planner. Like fold the chairs. You know what I'm saying? Like just be willing to help out as much as possible, because people will remember you, and you're gonna be doing a lot of giving in the beginning of your career before you start receiving. When I say receive, I mean receive. You know what I'm saying? So like, don't come in here expecting that like first month you're gonna be able to pay all your bills. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take you some years, and you may get a shortcut. You may know the right people. But realistically, you have to be in a very giving space to help people out in the industry, so that way when it's your time, they'll remember you and refer you, like, yeah, he's consistent. He helped me out when when I was a day of coordinator. Like he helped me out when I was doing photography. He was helping me out helping me out helping me out in setting my speakers up as a DJ. So you definitely want to be that type of person. That's the direct answer.
Okay. So, because I was going to ask you, for those that just came in and didn't realize that Chris is, whenever we had talked about working with like a multi op, me and Kevin, Chris is the person that we were always referring to. So tell us, how did you went from being a full time? Now, how did you get to the point from going full time, being a full time solo op DJ to running a multi op?
Oh yeah, I did it kind of backwards. I first started off as it's kind of like this. I went solo op first, and then I went multi op, and then I went back to solo op. Really, how that progression happened was when I was DJing with the company, the local company that I was with. I started to get popular on my own, and the owner of the company, he was my mentor at that time. He knew that I wanted to have a career in this, so he didn't want to stand in my way. It wasn't anything personal at all. Like I told him, like, hey, I'm going full time with this, and he was like, yeah, well, I can't really give you full time money like that, so make sure to get your name out there. So what happened was, when I was solo op, when I was just Chris Summers with just iShine Music Production, that was like my just me, just solo. Uh, I worked with the company, and then I would just tell other multi ops that, like, hey, I'm currently doing work here at this local DJ company. If you need help, I'm down to help you. And they would just spoon feed me like gigs that, if I mess it up, it's not a big deal. Like, I remember the local company I first worked with. I told the second company I worked with was based out in Cincinnati. I still work with them to this day, just as favors, and if I have time. Um, at the second one, I was mainly doing, like, at the beginning, I was DJing at like Boost Mobile. I was DJing at Family $1. All these little like outlet mall gigs. And then eventually the owner trusted me enough to start putting me on like parties and then weddings. And I did a few weddings with them, and then over time I would then take what I learned from there and be like, hey, next multi op, I'm doing work with two multi ops. If you need help, let me know. And then I did some work with a corporate multi op, a corporation. They didn't pay well, but I did work with them. So I was just using as many multi ops as I could to just get my experience and my reputation up, so that way I could get proper endorsements, and which I did. And then that's what led to other people finding out that I could DJ and DJ events and weddings, and I was going to networking events with the little savings I had from the paychecks that I kept. Like, I went to Devoted Pros in the beginning, like 8 years ago, the first one I ever went to. So I started meeting other venue owners and vendors, and I was just new at that time. So I think it was by fate, but I wanted a free membership for like 3 months, and I definitely used that time to, go to every single meeting and meet and network and meet. And I was able to meet some other vendors and have coffee meetings with them, and talk with them. And I did a lot of coffee meetings, lots of coffee meetings. I didn't even drink coffee, but I would just sit down and talk with, the people. And I'd also go to networking events locally in town, um, where I would meet other business professionals and entrepreneurs. So they knew me as a DJ, so I started doing some corporate events. So I was slowly building my name in that, and then I started getting more gigs on my own. And then 2019, 2018 I went full time, and then 2019 I started getting more gigs where I couldn't book them because I was already booked that day. Kind of what Mike was saying. So that's when Team iShine DJs was founded, and I had two guys with me, and we started it off like that. and we because I endorsed them and I pushed them to my audience, people that were able to trust them, and that helped build their reputations up faster. Then afterwards, COVID hit in 2020, and I think we did our first bridal show ever together as Team iShine DJs in January. And because the world was on pause for like 6 months after March, like all of those leads we got basically went dormant because people didn't know if they were gonna reschedule or not. But Team iShine DJs really was an asset to me towards the ends of 2020 up until like mid 2025, because during that era we were DJing postponed weddings and we were getting new weddings. So our calendar was artificially um, bigger than normal, you know. And then mid 2024, um, that's when the decline started to happen. Like that's when the industry started to reset itself. Like we're getting out of COVID weddings now, and 2024 started to feel like 2024 started to feel like 2018 again. And then at that point, I had like two other DJs with me, so it was me and four other DJs. One of my guys had a job offer, so he was mainly working more of that job. My other guy, he became more popular on his own, so he kind of had the same effect like I did in 2018, where he started getting more bookings on his own. He was working at Legoland before we met, and like he was starting to become popular on his own. And another guy, we did a couple gigs together, and then he was just there for support. He actually got picked up by one of the biggest DJ companies in my area, and just some other people, in my group. They said that they were down for the brand, but they really weren't. Like, some guys were just doing their own thing on my platform, and like I give them the rules and guidelines, and then they would just go off and do it the way that they see how to do it, not the way that I wanted it to be done. And that affected things professionally for me. I almost lost my contract with one of the venues that I preferred vendor with for years. I almost lost that contract because that one DJ, took matters into his own hands, and he wanted to, do things his own way. Not to rag on him, because he's a nice guy, very nice guy. He's the type of guy that I would hang out with, like in my garage, and play and throw darts at the wall with, but I wouldn't put him on a gig ever again. Like he would show up to these gigs in stage blacks, not in a suit and a tie, and I already asked him not to do that. And then he was just doing his own thing. He actually hired another DJ, like college age DJ, to DJ the wedding reception. Yeah, that happened. And he had to go. There's other DJs that came along the way too, that were not really at the professionalism that I needed them to be. One DJ would just trauma dump and complain about his personal life to us, and I'm just like, this is not the place to do that. Other DJs, they were more vested into their brand, but they only used me as just additional support. But then it would just get confusing sometimes, because other DJs would promote the gigs that I gave them to, like, onto Instagram, on their Instagram, on their TikTok, to make it look like, and maybe they didn't realize, maybe it wasn't ill intent, but then again, I did say in the rules of working with me, if you're gonna be posting up my gigs, just shout me out. Just say paid partnership with iShine Music Production, or paid partnership with Team iShine DJs. Don't just put it up yourself. And because these brides are going on Instagram and showing their wedding and all that stuff, and they see, an iShine wedding under somebody else, under another DJ company's Instagram, it will confuse them. So, with all that being said, like, Team iShine DJs is a memory that I'm always gonna take with me. But what came ahead was when I found out I was gonna be a dad at the top of 2024, I think. Yeah. Um, Came back from Texas. My wife told me she was pregnant, and I, I just assumed that business was going to be normal. Once my wife gave birth to this baby, she would just go back to her job, and I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, and that's it. But I don't. But having kids, having kids definitely changes things. Your life is never going to be the same again. You know what I'm saying? I realize that, yeah, you guys get a test for that. So once my son was born in 2024, and my wife went on FMLA because her job wasn't that robust to give her maternity leave. Um, Really, like we were able to get through the FMLA fine through her time at home fine. And my son was born in October, so um, that's during the time where it's like you're hustling for gigs and you're running specials. You're hoping somebody will book you because it's winter, like it's as DJs, like all that stuff. But really, what caused Team iShine DJs to head out the door and be suspended was really when my son was born, and then seeing that my wife didn't want to go back to work. She wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and I wanted her to be a stay-at-home mom too, because I wanted my son to have a a quality filled childhood, not necessarily one where I'm dropping him off to daycare. That's no offense to anybody that has their kids in daycare. I'm not coming at you like that, but at the end of the day, my belief is, it like I wanted my kid to grow up nurtured, not necessarily being taught by and raised by other strangers. So my wife stayed at home with him, and she left her job. Her job made most of the money in our household, and because of that, this was where I realized that um, my full time career as a DJ. Because when you sent me the title card, it's true. From part time to like full time. I was full time on paper. Yes, DJing I did full time, but the way that I was making money was really part time. Um, because when my wife left her job, I realized I wasn't making nearly enough to cover everybody. So I had to learn how to level up not only my skills but just my well, I guess my skills too. But I had to learn more about business. I had to really get more into networking and just really grow my my brand. Like I needed to make this brand big enough to where like not necessarily I want to chase like fame or anything like that. That's not it at all. But I wanted to make my brand big enough to where like if I say how much I am, that's how much I am. And I know we were talking about earlier about making leeway for people that really want to work with you. I'm down with doing that, but at the end of the day, a business can't stand on its own feet if standards are not all the way. But the reason, but with my wife making those moves and my son being here, and just seeing how Team iShine DJs wasn't really as uniform that I wanted it to be, um, I decided I had to let it go. I just told everybody, hey, it's been real, but yeah, you're on your own now. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that with all love and love and all due respect. Keep grinding at your careers. I'm here if you need anything. And like, it was a sad thing. I didn't want to do it, but at the same time, I needed to let go because, for the most part, I was multi-opping for 7 years. For 7 years, and then it's like when you come off of multi-opping and you go back to just it being you, a lot could happen. A lot changes because it's like, you know, this actually works out because, you know, I could charge more, I could do more, I could be more creative. Like now, we went from iShine Music Production, we've gone from iShine Music Production and Team iShine DJs to now just DJ iShine, and you know, it was a cool evolution. You know, it's like now I finally arrived, and I had to go through all of those stepping stones to get to where I am. But when you have a multi-op, you just gotta make sure you treat people well. You know what I'm saying? You really do, um, because they're the extension of your brand, and on top of that, you know, you have to really do a big audit. Like, can you trust this person enough to still go out to gigs and indirectly bring food to your family? Because every time I would send, I just thought about it. I'm like, can I trust having three DJs out plus myself, while having a family, and trust that they'll do everything right, you know, and not compromise my reputation, because everything now lies on this, you know.
Oh yeah,
It was a
Chris.
big.
Before you finish, can you? They've been saying that your mic is low. Maybe turn it up
All right, how about now? Sorry, how about now?
or talk louder because it seemed like they're hanging on to every word you're saying.
All right, all right, I'll speak louder. Can you hear me now?
I
Can
could,
you hear me now?
I could hear you the whole time, but
Ask your chat if they can hear me now.
uh,
Guys, can you hear him now?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
yeah, because remember it's gonna take like 30 seconds to a minute.
Okay. Okay. So basically, I just had to learn. I just had to just really be honest with myself. Like, are these guys really invested in being Team iShine DJs, or are they more invested in being themselves? And that's okay. If you want to be yourself, then be yourself. But I can't be with you if you're gonna be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like we, my family comes first. Like the people in my household have to be taken care of first, and I can't really be gambling my brand and my business like that. And the only way that a multi-op would work today, at least for me, is if everybody was employed. Because everyone was independent contractor at the end of the day. And independent contractor is good, but very short term after me learning. Like, the average independent contractor will be loyal to you for the most part for 2 years. And then after 2 years, it's like either life happens or they just keep getting bigger. And there's times where I couldn't pay them the way that they wanted me to pay them. And I mean, one guy, he gets preferred to get paid here. One guy gets preferred to pay here. You know, I can't really make a good, consistent income like that as owner, because if you're preferred to get paid $2,500, and if you prefer to get paid at like 800, I'm obviously gonna choose the person. But if I choose the person that wants to get paid at 800, now, like, I know it's not going to be done all the way that I know it can be, because there's not that much incentive. But if I pay the person that wants to get paid at 2,000, now my margins are lower. Like, let's say the whole overall contract is 2,500. They pay $2,500 for a Team iShine DJ. So it's like, do I take more money and risk my brand getting messed up, or do I take less money and to make sure my brand stays good? But then again, I'm basically working and setting this contract up for free, because after taxes, like, what am I going to do with $100? So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's play money.
Well,
So
one
yeah.
smart
Huh?
one smart thing there with like subcontractors, like here in the state of Pennsylvania, you have workman's comp, you have
Oh
you
gosh,
for
yeah, I
healthcare and
want to do
stuff
all
like that.
that.
When you subcontract, you don't have to worry about that at all. You don't have to worry
Right.
about taking taxes out for them or nothing. You say if you're gonna say you're charging $2,000 for the wedding, you're gonna give them 1,500. You're keeping
Right.
500 for yourself. They have to do all their own tax work, everything here in the state of Pennsylvania. I mean, I know every state's different. Um, it just, especially workman's comp for a DJ, that's an expense, because your back, your shoulders, your legs. I mean,
Yeah.
it kills you. And especially most venues around here, there's at least 2 flights of steps. It's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
like how many
Yeah.
times do I have to go up and down these steps?
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I mean, like, as I said, they serve their time. They serve their time, like, and I'm sure they're doing great in their careers, and we stay in touch to this day. But now, me being solo op again as DJ iShine, not necessarily, you know, in the beginning of my career, it's kind of like a reintroduction. I'm able to, as I said, I'm able to move around more now because I'm the only one in my company now, my brand now, and it's not necessarily about me, wanting to block out opportunity. It's just that my opportunity is I have to be more choosy about my opportunities. I mean, being multi-op, having a multi-op, it's hard to charge higher because people will just say, well, if I'm going to pay more for you, I can just pay more for somebody else that's trained under you for less, and and at least by me charging the way that I do and rebranding, because the rebrand took a lot of work and a lot of money, like I needed to go all the way in, and at least now this way I'm able to partner with vendors that could do the work better than me. Like I don't really want to do photo booth. I don't really want to do dancing on the cloud. I don't really want to do uplight. No offense to people that like to do that. I don't really look at myself a as an entertainment company that's providing, rentals plus music playback. I look at myself strictly as a DJ that's performing, that's doing live mixing, MC hosting, and music production. That's how I view myself. So I would gladly give that business to somebody else that could do it better than me. Like, there's DJs out there that have great like uplighting packages, and I love to refer them that business. And there's straight up photo booth companies that can just focus on the photo booth. And like, if I'm DJing and I set up a photo booth and the paper runs out, like that's gonna look bad if I run from my booth to change the paper out and have to do it before the song changes, or I have to hire somebody and hope that they don't mess it up, you know, or if there's other things like TV, like big TVs or TV booths. And I'm not really a TV person, so but
Yeah.
that I want to focus on. I mean, like that's starting to become like the norm. Like I see DJs now with like TV booths and all that stuff, and that's cool. But I want to focus on the music and the experience. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want a TV at your wedding, great. I just partnered with a AV company called Beltry Productions, and they'll gladly give you as many TVs as you want. I'm not gonna mess with that. So I just, I just, I just think the multi-op really just allowed me to grow up. You know what I'm saying? It grew me up in different ways, and it allowed me to really appreciate my peers. Because like I've worked with my DJ peers and from the multi-op, and some of us still stay in touch to this day, some not really, but it is what it is. Because I'm not, I don't really, I can't really force somebody to be me because I could only be me, and that's the issue in my opinion with most multi ops. Like they try and cookie cutter every single DJ to do to play only these songs, to look a certain way, to come to the weddings in a polo and in some jeans, like you're just stage work. You know what I'm saying? Like you may not be good at MCing, so they bring an MC person out, or they talk for a bit. And you just AV. Honestly, you just AV with all due respect. And as I was saying before earlier in the episode, it's going to be very. We're at a big divide now, and you have to choose if you're going to be a DJ. You gotta get down and dig in the crates and meet and learn new music, practice, train. Really, do all that. Or if you just want to work for a run-of-the-mill AV company and just do playback, you could do that as well too. But the multi-op was a good era of my life, and I'm always gonna remember it. And seriously.
Okay.
It's nice when you have DJs that are working with you. Again, like you said, it's your name, it's
Right.
your brand,
Mm-hmm.
and all they gotta do is make one simple mistake, and that spreads like wildfire. It's like,
Yeah.
it's
Gonna
just
risk
it's
it.
so sad that people can be so cruel. I mean, that DJ may have not wanted to make that mistake. We're all human. We're all going to make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I mean, some of these couples, they just, it's their day and everything. everything has to be perfect, even the amount of toilet paper in the restrooms in the venue. You know, it's like
Yeah.
life isn't perfect, and that's what I try to tell every couple when I go to interview with them. I'm gonna try to relieve this as much stress from you. Can't relieve it all, but I will do the best I can to make it a nice, peaceful transition for you guys, so you have a great time. But the one thing I always ask every couple is, I know you're gonna have a few drinks or a couple two. I always say a couple two tree. Um, but please don't get drunk or loaded, because then you're not gonna remember your day. And
Yeah.
I just did a wedding this past September, and the bride was so extremely intoxicated. She sat right down in mud with her wedding gown on,
Oh,
and she
geez.
wouldn't leave the venue. It was a barn wedding, so her uncle,
Mm.
her brother, and her father picked her up, and she sat there with her legs crossed, and they had to carry her out. I'm like, the poor lady. I mean, I can't say poor lady. The next day, she's probably gonna say, "Wow, what happened? You know, why am I all muddy and this and that?" Then I
Yeah.
also had another couple. They were so intoxicated prior to the wedding, prior to the ceremony, that the judge went through everything, but he did not sign the marriage license.
So they
And
weren't
he
technically married.
technically, no, they were not married. They had to go down to his office that Monday, and they had to do their vows over when they were sober, because he said, by law, I cannot marry them because they are intoxicated. But what are they going to do with all this here? I mean, everything's paid for.
Mm.
So let's just go through the rituals, and Monday come down my office and we'll take care of it. And they were so drunk, he had to tell their parents. So the parents had to remind them, hey, you got to get down to the judge's chambers on Monday. They're like, why? Because you were too intoxicated to get married, you know? But
Yeah, yeah,
stuff
yeah.
happens, you know?
It does happen, and that's the thing too. Um, when you become a solo op again, this time I know in the beginning and even during my Team iShine DJs era, I was like, I was like so happy to like get clients and be like, yeah, you know, I want to do everything for you. I want to make sure your day is great. Like, but now the way I answer, now the way I pre-qualify people, like I interview them as well too. Like, if
Yeah.
I pick up that they may be too immature for me, then I just say like, um, you know, if I happen to say I'm available, then I would just charge higher in my spectrum of
Mhm.
of my price range, and most of the time they say no because it's too much, and then I refer them to somebody else that is a little bit matches them a little bit more. You have to make sure you pre-qualify your clients too.
Yes.
You don't have to take every gig under the sun. I learned that. Like I've had clients where there it was smooth, chill, you know, like very proper. Then I had some clients that I've heard stories about some clients in Team iShine DJs that would have mud wrestling competitions, and I've DJed weddings where um, they would have drinking games, and they would just you know the groomsmen would get a little bit rowdy, and
Yeah.
more of a wedding, and then you're DJing a party, everybody's having a good time. Then grown men are shouting over stupid stuff outside, and then you turn the music down and wait until they stop fighting because you don't want to aggravate them. Like you have to pre-qualify your customers, your clients too. Like
Yeah.
it's not just them interviewing you; you interview them.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. One thing I do have in my contract, because sometimes I get booked, like I just got booked for a wedding for October of 2027.
Yeah.
So, right in my contract, I have stated, you must keep in contact with me. I'm not a babysitter. I have other
Yeah.
gigs, other things going on. So if you don't keep in contact with me, yeah, I have your date and everything in my calendar. And I have if you sign the contract that day, I have the contract with me and everything. But I had times that, 6 months later, they're calling me up. We're not getting married. Okay. I had
Hmm.
times that, I'm waiting for them to call me. I'm like, Now it's a month out before the wedding. I better call them. Oh, Mike, we forgot to call. We ran away and got married because she got pregnant, or he's going into the service, so we just ran away and got married. Well, you have the contract. Call me. I said,
Mm-hmm.
well, guess what? Now you still owe me the money. For what? I said, read your contract. And
Mm-hmm.
they're like, oh, you mean we have to pay you? Yes. If you cancel me 90 days out, it's X amount of dollars. You cancel 30 days out, you owe me the full price. End of story. You know, I got burned a couple times. From that point on, I'm like, I'm not getting burned again. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I mean, do I feel bad taking the money? Yeah, but then no. I figure I could have had another wedding that day. I passed them off because this wedding was booked and they never got in touch with me.
The way I do
So,
it is I give a retainer.
oh yeah,
Um,
I get that 50% down.
yeah.
No
Whatever.
refund. Pick it
Absolutely
set.
no refund. No, no. I mean, like, no. It said, like, by contracts, that's why I've been staying away from the Facebook groups because, brides talk, and if you do something that they don't like, they can just easily flame you and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Because if I don't put a footprint on there, there's no way it'll make the bride look silly. Like why are you complaining about this person? And they look me up on their own. They're like, oh, like he has this type of reputation. Like, are you lying? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's why I stay off of the Facebook groups now. But um, yeah, I whatever they pay, I don't. As after 24 hours, I don't give it back. Because I
Yeah.
can't. Because
They,
like that goes into my time. Like I have to compensate myself. And
they signed the contract today. They call me tomorrow and say, hey, Mike, I'm sorry. You know, we're going to have to cancel. No problem. Thank you. When can we meet up with you to get our money back? Um, Page two, paragraph three. Read that. Oh, Mike, we didn't know that. We don't get our money back. I said, well, not only that, on the bottom of every page, I have them initial it
hmm
and date it, and it says, I, so and so, I, DJ Mikey Mike,
hmm
have read each and every paragraph, and I understand and comprehend everything I have read. And I date, then they date it. They date it then. So I said, well, listen, you know how to read? Yeah. And like, well, apparently you didn't read this contract. You just signed it. You had the check ready for me. We got down meet. You gave me the contract. Everything was done. Everything was signed, sealed. Now you want to take me to the magistrate? He's going to laugh at you because you signed the contract. Not only did you sign it, you marked down on every page that you have read and understood or comprehended everything on that page, and you dated it there too. So they're like, okay, no problem. Like, well, I'm sorry. It's just that's the way it is.
Yeah, my rule is simple. I mean, if I cancel on them, then of course they'll get their money back.
Hmm.
If they cancel on me, they don't get it back. I mean, the most I'll do is give a nominal gift certificate, and they could use it to give it to somebody else, so that way they could get credit for they could get like a credit for booking me. So like if they cancel their wedding and they paid me like $4,500 or like 5,000 or anything like that, um, and they cancel it, I don't mind giving them like a $8 or $1,000 gift certificate,
Hmm.
and then they could use that. It's something, what I'm saying. It's not the whole thing because
Yeah,
like I like you already paid into my time. Like somebody else could have booked that date, and
exact.
I already made time to be there. So and I probably would have invested money in my equipment and invested money and time into my day to day expenses so that way I'm at a good level personally, so that way I can be there for you professionally. So, yeah, I mean, it's all about educating the client and letting them know that, just letting them know that these are the rules of the land. Like once you sign it and once you pay me, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You get, uh, you know, 24-hour grace period. That's cool, but after that 24 hours, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you could slander me, but then I could take you to court for libel. For
Yeah.
yeah, like you could cry about you could go on Facebook and say, "Oh, you didn't give me my money back," but I don't really interact on the Facebook group. So if people take it upon themselves to look me up and they see the type of work I've done in the past and how professional I carry myself and how my brand is, polished, it'll be basically you crying wolf. That's like,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know, it's like going to a Karen Mitchell restaurant and saying that, the service was bad because they gave me a Caesar salad instead of like lobster bisque. Like people are just gonna laugh at you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
The magistrates,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
people just don't understand. They sign contracts. Um, then they go and they next thing you know, they're going back to the venue and saying, "Well, we had to cancel." They're thinking they're going to get their money back from the venue. Venue's telling them no. Then they call up the photographer, and the photographer tells them no. They're like,
Yeah.
"Well, we spent all this money. Now we're not getting." That's why you got to be sure that the person you're marrying is who you want to marry.
Right, right. You learned it that quickly, and even during COVID,
Yeah.
I had this one couple that did threaten. They did threaten me. I don't know how they were gonna execute the threat, but they came to me like, "Hey, we're not having our wedding. We want our money back." And I just tried to tell them in a nice way. This was when like I didn't have any boundaries. I told them that I'm willing to work with you and give you this much back, and that was never again, never again. And then they replied back to me, and they was like, "Nah, give us the whole thing back because we're not having our wedding. If you don't give us our money back, we're gonna have to escalate things and take care of things ourselves." And I'm like, I was scared. You know what I'm saying? It was scary because like I,
Yes.
it was a scary moment. I literally went into my personal savings and gave them their money back, even though they didn't deserve it. And like, fortunately, my wife had a good job at that time, so we didn't really feel the burn. But I just felt, I just felt violated. You know what I'm saying? I felt disrespected. I was like, wow, like people can be horrible. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, it's amazing how people when they sit down and talk to you about getting married, it's like this big bubbly, joyful person. Then all of a sudden, something happens and they decide. I mean, it could be something not like they got in an argument or something. It could be just something that um the bride's moving somewhere else and the groom can't move there or whatever, and they decide, oh, we're not going to get married yet. We're going to wait till we get back into town together. But you should have thought of that prior. But then all of a sudden you see this evil person in front of you. It's like, what happened to that nice bubbly person that was just here a couple days ago?
yeah, I've had crazy stories like that too.
Yeah.
This one bride, she actually booked with one of my DJs, and then 3 months later, she said that she's not getting married anymore. She CC'd her parents onto the email, like that was gonna do something.
Yeah.
And yeah, and she was just like, I wanted to know about getting a refund because I'm not getting married anymore. And all I did was I sent her about her contract and I told her the paragraphs where the best thing I could do is give you a gift certificate. It's attached here. It's $200. If it helps, um,
Well, you're a
I
nice
could do it.
guy. I don't give him
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah. I mean, like I just said, it's a $200 gift certificate. I'll take it. It's good for up to a year. You could go ahead and sell it if you don't want it. Try and get
Yeah.
some money back off of it. But this is what it is. I can't give you your money back, and I hope all works out. She just left it alone, and I think her parents talked to her and said like, yeah, I mean, that's what his contract said. You guys signed it, and and it even says in my contract under a force majeure clause, which I highly advise you have in your contracts, a force majeure clause. One of the segments in there says uh, if it's like a domestic situation, if you break up, a divorce, if somebody dies, or if it's like if you get sick, you know, we will work together. If you
Yes.
cancel, if you walk away from if you walk away and say you're not going to have the gig anymore, the wedding anymore, then that's it, you know, and you agree to that.
Hmm.
This is another reason why I don't DJ weddings for people that I know anymore. I don't DJ weddings or events for people that I know personally or that are in personal circles. I mean, I had a buddy of mine. He's not really a buddy, but he's friends with one of my buddies. He was having a wedding. His fiance cheated on him with another one of our another friend of one of my friends, and he was like pressing me like the whole weekend about like refunds, and I just gave him like half of his money back because you know it's awkward because we're in the same group chat. Like at least at that time, we were in the same group chat
Yeah.
with each other, and I didn't want no passive aggressive crap to happen. So I gave him half cash back. I wouldn't have done that today, and you know, I did have a bride that I that went to the same church that I went to, and you know, it wasn't really like I want my money back thing. It was just a switch up in experience. Um, she first was expressing that you know she was happy about her wedding and it went great, and this was like 2 days after. And then like almost a year later, I was just telling her, you know, I'm you know I'm just trying to get my reviews up. My help, you know, would you be interested in leaving a review? And she said that she wasn't going to because, you know, some of her guests said that they couldn't hear the sound right, they couldn't hear the music right, and she said that you know she wasn't happy, and I'm just like, this is a totally different person that I'm talking to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I was really confused. I'm like,
Oh, it's
yeah, it is what
but
it is, though. It's no bad blood or anything like that. I don't. But at the end of the day, it's like that's why I don't do anything personal. I don't do personal gigs anymore. And I DJed for my uncle one time.
oh,
My uncle dragged his feet a lot. He didn't even like. He looked at me more as a nephew instead of a professional. I mean, he
mhm.
paid me, but he looked at me more as a nephew, as just,
Yeah.
you know, it was like, it was, it wasn't really take. I just told myself, you know, if I'm in a position to DJ a person that I know, so like wedding or event for free, I'll do it for free. I don't want
You're a
to.
nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, but it has to be on my time though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if it's like if if a friend of mine said they're getting married in June and it's a Saturday, I'll refer them to another DJ. If it's like if it's like on the off season, which it did happen. One of our one of our personal friends, he they got married in February in Detroit. I DJ'd their wedding for free, and you know that was fine. You know, they paid for our hotel room as a return, as a gift. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying before. You have to pre-qualify your clients. Not
Yeah.
everybody's for you. You know.
Definitely. I mean, the hardest people to DJ for are your friends and your family
Oh
because
gosh, yeah,
they could go overboard. Like
they
it's
really
like,
can.
why did I take this gig? Why?
Right.
You know, but eh, you know, they've been learned. I mean, then there's other family and friends that you DJ for. And it's like, why could every wedding be like this? You know, it's just it. Every wedding is different. Every event is different. Um, and just again, it's the makes all different kind of people make this world go around. So we're on it for a ride. Grab as many gold rings as you can, make as many people smile as you can, and have a good time. And I go out shop and I hear, hey, DJ Mikey, Mike. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know, oh yeah, you did my sister's wedding. When was it? Like 14 years ago. I'm like,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
weird.
yeah. Then I feel bad. It's like I don't remember you, you know. But
Yeah. It's so cool because like
Yeah.
actually that did happen. I DJ'd a wedding for a wedding reception for a couple like last year, and it took me a while to remember. But the one of the bridesmaids, he said you remember me, right? And I was just like, yeah. I was like, yeah, you were at you were the maid of honor at so and so's wedding 2 years ago, and you were the one that made that funny speech. She was like, yeah, I did. And I was just like, and we're just chatting, catching up. And she's like, yeah, they're good. Like my parents are here, and they're back in, they're back home and just hanging out, and that's how the bride, that's how that current couple found out about me because they were guests at that wedding. So it's
Hmm.
kind of like like legacy starting to build. It's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Well, well,
Like I
well,
would be surprised one day that because I did sweet 16s and quinceañeras and all that stuff. Like it'd be funny one day like if I got like an email from a sweet 16er or like a quinceañera, a girl, and they're just like. They're of marrying age, like in the mid 20s, and their mid 20s, and they're like, "Hey, you DJ'd my Sweet 16 like 7 or 8 years ago. I'm getting married at this venue. I want to see if you're available."
I
I'm
just
like,
did a couple of them last year.
"Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
How was it? How
I
was it?"
did the Sweet 16. I did their graduation party. I did their college graduation party, and then I did their wedding. I'm like, wow.
You're the family DJ. You're the family
Yeah, I'm
DJ.
like, wow, this is unbelievable. But
Yeah,
again, it's a lot of DJs say it's so stressful. It's this, it's that. I mean, to me, yeah, it can be stressful. You allow it to be stressful. The,
right.
the thing is, it's like going to work, punching in at a clock. You could let your job get to you, or
Hmm.
you could go in and just do your job, and go home.
Well, if you
We,
are stressed out DJing, then you should probably find something else to do
yeah, I
because
mean,
there's
I
just too much risk and too much on the line
yes,
and just how our industry is represented. If you just need a check, then get a job. Drive Uber. Do DoorDash.
yeah,
But don't do
exactly.
somebody's wedding, man. Don't do.
No,
No, come on,
I
man.
mean, basically, we don't have no set schedule that we have to punch in at 9 o'clock, punch on at 5 o'clock,
Right,
or eight
right.
o'clock, or 4 o'clock. And if we feel like working a couple hours today on music for that wedding, and a couple hours tomorrow for music on that wedding, then take a couple days off from it, we
Right.
could, because that's our privilege as the owner of our own company.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
when you get Dwayne could, I Dwayne knows this story. I got called out to do
Make
an
sure this is your
emergency.
last one because you know we way past our 2 hours.
Yeah, I know. I well
Oh wait. Oh well.
the September wedding. This couple, my future my son my future son-in-law's sister called me and said, Mike, my sister, my best friend's getting married. The DJ backed out of him. And I'm like, what? Are you available? I'm like, yeah, I'm available. First thing to do, never say I'm available. Where is the wedding at?
Yeah, yeah. I know.
I found out the hard way. It was
Yeah,
two and a
yeah.
half hours away from me, no satellite, no cell phone service, no nothing.
Yeah.
And here I really felt bad for the bride and groom. They're actually suing the venue, the caterer, and the DJ. The DJ said he was in a car accident. He had to get a shoulder operated on that Saturday. That's why he can't do their wedding. Turned out he wasn't in the car accident. He was in the hospital because they did call him, and they called his room, and yes, he was there.
Mhm.
Um, Only thing is that dummy did. He was DJing at some club that night, and he's taking pictures and posting them and videos and posting them to Facebook, and they seen it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a total jerk to do something like that. I did the wedding. The only thing I prayed for is that I had all their music. They didn't give me no list or none. Just play whatever, Mike, and take requests. I'm like, okay. All
Yeah.
the requests it was all alternative music. I'm like, who? What? Huh? I type it. I got it. Beautiful. Throw it on.
Right.
But
Right.
Chris, it's been a total pleasure. I mean, If you see me, it looked like I was not enough. I'm just sitting here. I'm in discomfort a little bit, and it's
No, you're
like,
good. I understand.
oh,
I understand.
I
It's all
forgot.
good.
I
But
forgot my
see,
ice pack.
see, Chris don't know that he don't know the whole story because
Oh no.
he fell asleep on our show twice. So his head
did?
goes down. It's
And
like we thinking he's awake and we calling his name. He's asleep.
Oh, you were asleep this whole time? I'm
Yeah,
boring
no,
you?
no, no.
Oh yeah, we
I
was
was
live and
totally-
he was asleep.
Yeah, but we had the highest ratings that week too.
Uh huh.
But tonight, I'm like, I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh man, I forgot my ice packs. I'm like, so I'm trying to move around. And I'm like, I'm just trying to stay comfortable, and then I try to move again. And I'll tell you, after the surgery, it's tough sitting. You know,
Yeah, I
really
get
tough
that.
sitting.
Yep. So the chat been busy. Let me see if I
I
can.
see.
So this is going to be a lightning round. So when I read it, don't go into a long story. If you got something to say, just say it. All right.
Okay.
Let me see.
Me or
Let
him?
Me.
Oh, okay, I was making
Oh.
sure.
Kevin had pointed out, and I also found it. I gotta make sure I put it on my calendar. Let's see, the 2027 Pittsburgh DJ Summit is January the 12th through the 13th. And is it a one-time fee or do you pay for each day, Chris?
You just pay for it one time. It's a ticket, one ticket for the one-time fee.
All right, so that ticket price is $427.60, and that's on Eventbrite. If that's something that you all want to be interested in doing.
Pay it. I'll say pay it.
And then the Shuffle Couple said, Mikey Mike, you were born to DJ. He was referring to how you backed into DJing with Mikey Mike.
Thank you.
Then he says, why are there only 3 likes but 9 people watching? Yeah, I don't know. Make sure you hit those like buttons.
Yes, please. We appreciate it.
All right, so we got through Buddy's question about full-time DJ. And then he kind of like talked about what separates you from the other DJs, because you're also trying to do the DJ producer kind of avenue.
Yeah, that's basically my brand now, DJ producer.
And then DJ Shay, I'd like to welcome him from the Start to Spin show. And he says younger people know about Circuit Center and Micro Center.
Yeah, I remember that.
Circuit City Micro Center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I miss Circuit City.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Going down. Oh, then Buddy said he's watching us on his 65-inch TV. And then DJ Pretty Boy also joined us later on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Good to see that you're up and Buddy said, Mike, good to see that you're up and running.
Thank you, buddy. Not running, but I'm up.
And let me see. I thought there was some more. Kevin said something about subcontracting. I guess that was when you kind of like almost like what you was doing when I joined iShine.
Yeah. Like you were towards the tail end of the journey, and we were trying to get some work together.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to board a plane, but the plane already left. So
Yep.
seems like you're doing fine just right now. You know.
Yeah. There was a little bit of guidance and suggestions from when I had talked to you, getting those
Right,
Google
that's what I
reviews and all that kind of stuff.
That's where I want to be now. You know, so I'd rather just be somebody to just guide other DJs and refer work out to other DJs. Frankly, it's easier that way. Everybody wins. You know.
Yeah.
Have you ever run into a DJ that you ask them a question, they just like totally blow you off? Like, you know, you're just asking for some guidance. Like, you might have run into a situation.
Yeah.
You ask them, and they're just like looking at you like you have 2 heads or something.
Yeah. That happened a lot early in my career when I moved to Columbus. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna point them out, but there was a radio station I did work for, not work for, but I interned at, and I wasn't really taken as seriously because I used the controller like a I don't know, Mix Track Pro or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
they didn't really take me as seriously. So yeah, basically I was it was like I was known as the intern. You know, no one called me by my name.
Nah,
Yeah, it was dumb. I
I
mean, they're
can't
great at
stand.
what they do. You know, they're great at what they do. They're great DJs, but yeah, yeah, that it did happen to me before. So
And then Kevin went on and said, Mike's War and Peace contract.
Hey,
Uh,
you gotta
yeah.
protect yourself every which way possible.
mhm.
Hmm.
And then Buddy said he just had a customer cancel. Their wedding was in October. Just gave the money back. I will book the date. I'm not going to keep someone's money three weeks before.
I would say look at
Buddy,
your contract. I'd say look at your contract and make sure that um, you have something like fair in place for yourself because if if you start getting into the position of giving money back to everybody that cancels on you, you're going to be out of business fast. So I
yes,
would say, do like have a gift certificate program or something like that. Don't actually give them cash. Unless the only time I would say give cash is if you cancel. I know life happens, but you're not responsible for somebody else what happens in somebody else's life. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
You know,
yes.
but but if it's like a freelance thing, like if you have a day job and it's not really gonna bother you, okay. But like if you're in a position of doing this full time, I would say really work on something to protect yourself and just start positioning yourself in front of clients that will take your rules seriously. That's what I have to say about that.
Mm. And then,
Definitely. I agree 1000%.
Hmm.
yep.
All
And
right.
then DJ Pretty Boy from La Ruckus Inc. said, that's a huge problem DJing for family because even if you're getting paid, they don't differentiate business and families. And I know that
Mm.
for sure, especially
Yeah.
DJing for my mom's quilting guild. Um,
Oh no! How'd
Yeah.
that go?
uh, it was great until my mom didn't want to pay me on time. Like,
Oh,
cause see, I try to do things business like. She tries to do things like friends and stuff. I was
Yeah.
like,
yeah,
no, I don't have time for that. It got to be business. There's a reason why I do things a certain way.
yeah, yeah. Will you DJ an event for your mom again, or that was it? That's
Uh,
it.
I'll put boundaries down. Put it that way. There will be strict
Okay.
boundaries.
I'd only take the controller out if I'm in the position to do it for free.
Hmm.
That's
Um, and then yeah, Buddy says going for 3 hours. We're going to tickle it. Hopefully we don't go past three. And,
hey, I'm fine with
uh-huh.
that.
And then LaRuckus said, Buddy, you told Buddy get some coffee. Because we also do, if you all are game for doing a after thing, we can do an after thing. Open it up
Sure.
for anybody's in the chat.
Yeah, that's
Um,
fine.
yep, I'll just send I can just send it to their Instagram. Let me see
Is
what
this the
else.
longest episode you've had, Dwayne?
Huh?
Is this the longest episode you've had, or you've had other episodes longer?
No, we almost got to three a couple of times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, we could call Domino's, send Buddy a pizza.
Yep.
Stay with us for 3 hours.
Yeah. So what was it because it's usually the one I know was it the multi-op one with Will?
Yeah. And that we're there just about 3 hours with that one.
Yeah. Because it was going back and forth. Now that would have been an interesting show to have Will on because Will has this interesting experience with working with a multi-op, and they like do him dirty. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, 'cause I
Oh.
always tell him that Chris doesn't do that way. So I was like, I can't relate to what he's saying.
I really tried not to. I tried to treat people as best as I could because, you know, it's like after you like multi ops don't last forever, and once you come out of it, you want to be able to be amongst your peers that like you, and yeah, I remember I worked with you. You have my back. That's kind of how I wanted to do it.
This multi-op has been they've been around for more than 30 years, and they really take advantage of Will.
Mm.
And the one DJ did leave them, started his own, and here he posted a video of one of the weddings that he did for the other multi-op, but it was just basically him in the video and some people dancing. And the owner of that multi-op sent him a letter of cease and desist. He had to pull that down from his website. Yeah,
What?
he is rough and tough to work for. Him and his wife and his children are, listen,
Why
working
did they
for
have
us.
to close cease and desist? If you like, did he take their clients or something like that? Like what?
No,
Like, he was
no.
just DJing on his own, and he just said you can't DJ anymore. He's like,
Um, he worked directly for him, and then he decided, this multi-op is making $5,000 a wedding, and he's getting 800-900 bucks for the wedding, and the multi-op is pocketing the rest of the money. They said, "What am I? What's wrong with me?" He was one of the DJs that were there the longest with him, and he just like, "That's it. I had enough. I'm out of here."
mm-hmm.
And he didn't steal any of his customers or anything. He just posted a recent video that he had done with, I think, people dancing and him. I don't know if he was on a microphone or what. And as soon as this other DJ found that out, boom, that was it. It was like lights were hitting the fan like you wouldn't believe. In cease and assist, pull the video down. He's like, he told the guys, listen, he said, I shot the video, but it was my event. Pull it down, and the judge fell in favor with him. It was his event. This guy did shoot the video, but the client booked that um that
That could-
multi-op, so
yeah.
the poor guy had to pull the video down.
That-
And let me finish this one because Diego said I was like a good hour and a half behind in reading the comments because they had mentioned that towards the 10 o'clock hour. And I'm just now getting around to reading it. And then Buddy said, send a link to Kevin's OnlyFans page. And he said that Will needs to get paid more, and I agree.
Yes.
And then Buddy says, we have a 90 days clause in our contract. Anything before 90 days from the date, we refund. Yep.
Again, my opinions about that, but that's me.
So far, I haven't ran into that.
Good. Are your contract? What's your refund policy?
The retainers, they don't get back. And then they got 10 days before the event to pay me. So it's one of those things is, if it's done early enough, I don't have a mind. I don't have a problem giving it back because I'm not trying to, I'm not hurting. My household income is not based on my DJing. It's just like extra money. But if it's like the last minute and you just pull the plug, I'll kind of like feel funny giving all your money back if you paid it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have no remorse in not refunding them at all.
Yeah,
It's
I have to
it's
go.
the law of the land.
I have to go from a full timer perspective because, as I said, if you get in the position of just refunding everybody their money back when they want it back, you're never going to make money. You might as well just not do. You might as well just get a day job.
I could say this: I will refund the money back if it's a death in the family.
Even that's
One of
not
the
dicey.
the
You can't-
spouse or the future bride passes away, something like that, I will refund the money. But if it's like because they broke up, I had one groom get another girl pregnant, and he tells the bride a week before their wedding, that my girlfriend is due the same day our wedding is. This poor bride was heartbroken. I didn't take the full payment off her, and she insisted I did. I said, no, listen, you're gonna need this. I know you're gonna need some she has to go see a doctor. She was totally distraught. I mean, I felt so bad for her, but I saved her a couple $100. I said, listen, you keep that, I'll take the rest and we'll call it quits. And she said, I'll mail you the check. I said, no, honey, don't. You're gonna have it rough, you know.
That's unfortunate. There's something called wedding insurance. You know, I'm not even trying to be silly. I'm not trying to be funny.
No, I know. Yes.
There's, you know, if a couple is serious about investing the type of money they're investing into their day, I would say get wedding insurance, because at least you know that if anything does go awry, like you can file a claim and get some money back off of your vendors, and you don't have to put your vendors in awkward positions or spots. And I'm thinking about doing a reel on that and putting it on my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually thinking about doing that because, you know, you can't. I'm just sorry. Whoever's listening, I'm sorry. You can't run a business if you're going to be giving money back. You know, and it's frankly not your fault. You know,
No.
like if it's your fault, yes, give it back. But if it's something that happens in their lives, you know, you have to just. They're clients at the end of the day, and you have to be fair to your business. You know, like you have to be fair to yourself, and you know that's really what I have to say about that. You know, just you know, they should have wedding insurance. You know, if you're gonna be doing weddings, you know, make sure your client. Well, it's not your responsibility to make sure they have wedding insurance, but any couple that is looking to invest that type of money should drop a couple $100 on wedding insurance. Everything will be taken care of.
They're dropping thousands of dollars on their wedding and not thinking of that wedding insurance, saying, we're not going to need it. You never know what could happen, believe me.
Yep, and getting back to this one, DJ Pretty Boy has said, only thing you have to do is just switch out the bride with the pregnant one. And then he put LOL. And then Buddy said, you didn't ask Mike about the you know what. But actually, we did. Chris accidentally said that trigger word, and then Mikey Mike went into it. That's why we're at the 3-hour mark now.
The wedding planners, I didn't get into that yet. Our wedding coordinator.
And there was another one. Oh yeah, and Kevin, he deleted it or retracted it, but he has something to say about the refunds. And his is basically if you put time into it, then he don't give the money back.
Nobody answered my question.
What
I asked him, you think I should shave my head?
Oh, somebody did. They did answer that, but I didn't know.
Did they?
Yeah, I think Shay said something. It was down here because he said done. And Buddy, they did say it, and I just skipped over because I didn't know where it was coming from.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like a hippie right now.
Yeah, they did.
Trim this down.
It's something about, they did say trim. Maybe it was Buddy. I can't find it now, but they did respond to it.
Okay, cool. I have to trim this and shave me head, and I'll be back to almost normal.
All right. So let's go ahead and end this. So this week's shout out goes to DJ The Lunatic, and he's our new member in our Facebook group page.
Beautiful.
And then I almost overlooked him. I was like, oh, we got a new number in our group. And then, of course, I'd like to shout out Chris, DJ iShine. And you can follow him on YouTube at DJ iShine Live. And then, what's your other handles?
That's pretty much it. There's iShine Music Pro, ISHINE Music Pro. That's just basically like a. It kind of is now like a photo dump like Instagram. My main one is the DJ iShine Live one.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure which IG to put down since because it just dawned on me till today that there was two of them.
No, you got the right one. You got the right one.
Okay.
You check.
And then again, our Facebook group page, if you haven't joined it yet, there's the long URL code. Or you can just go to Facebook and in the browser just type in Cue It Up DJ Podcast. You can join our private group or our public group. And next week, Tom said those PDFs that he had promised you all, he said he's going to send it to me once he comes back from this convention. And then we're going to post all that information in the group page. Then make sure you follow DJ Mikey Mike at DJ Mikey Mike on Twitter and Facebook, and on Instagram at DJ Mikey Mike 45. And then you can follow me on all of my socials at Hitman D Dub. And then we have this thing called the DJ Collective Network, where it's one culture and many voices. So welcome to our Primetime DJ lineup, a weekly schedule of live stream shows built for DJs by DJs. Whether you're just starting out or scaling your business, we've got the knowledge, the stories, and inspirations to help you level up. On Mondays at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. For every DJ chasing dreams, no matter the odds, it's your time to spend with DJ Cool Thing. And then on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, join Buddy and his weekly guest panel of DJs for unfiltered conversations that matter. It's the DJ Roundtable with Buddy from TPM Productions. And then if you missed the live Twitch stream, you can catch the rebroadcast every Monday at 1 o'clock at TPM Productions DJ1, his YouTube channel. And then we have DJ Night Owl, Sean, from the DJ Biz School. And when he's not doing DJing, he has this venture with his photo booths. So if you're looking to add some serious wow factors to your events, check out the beta booth from Photo Booth Direct Club. It's got upgraded lighting and wiring and mirror faceplates that guests love. And it even comes in a rolling luggage style case. So setup is a breeze. And the best part is you can use our CUEITUP code and save $350. That means you get it for just $1,645. So head to photoboothdirectclub.com and grab yours now. So again, that's what it looks like. And then with our code, just cue it up. You get it for $1,695, I mean. And then he also has the Sigma video guest book. So he just came up with that within the last month. And then on Thursdays, the busiest day of the week, we have the Cue It Up DJ podcast with me, the Hitman D-Dub, and DJ Mikey Mike. It's not just talk, it's real tools for real DJs of all skill levels. And then we also have DJ Pretty Boy and DJ Shay from the Start to Spin DJ podcast at 8 o'clock. And then we have Kevin, DJ K Productions. You can see him on the KJ Chill Room karaoke chat with Matt and Eric. And you can join them live every Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the DJ Network TV, which is djntv.com/KJ Chill. And then we have the Recreate the Vibe podcast with at _DJ Reese _. Make sure you follow him and check him out. And he talks about DJing in the corporate arena. So remember to like, share, and subscribe to all of our channels. And then our fade out message is success looks different once your priority changes. And as you heard that Chris, his priority changed once he they welcomed a new baby into their family. And then also just remember, wherever it's good to get advice from people, but remember to always take what applies to you and leave out what doesn't, and keep building at your pace and not at somebody else's pace. Because that's where I kind of like fell into the trap when I started DJing or trying to go full time, trying to be like everybody else instead of taking things in a nice pace, because everything got to go in certain orders, because you definitely don't want to get to a position that you're not ready to before you're ready and have a bad experience. And that's the one advice that Chris told me when I first met him, where he told me that it would take time in order to get to where I want to go. Also, Ice Cube said, if you're not ready to invest 5 years of not making a penny doing something, then you might not want to start it.
Yeah, true that. Real.
All right, did you all have any last words before we head on out?
I appreciate everybody being here. Chris, it's a pleasure meeting you. I hopefully make sure I get to see you at the Pittsburgh Expo, and also maybe this year at DJX. I mean, it was great time talking to you. I'm just sorry I was in a lot of discomfort, just unfortunate. A week ago I had my surgery, but I'm doing a lot better, thank God. Just forgot my ice packs.
I just gave you a follow so we could continue chatting anytime. So
All right, man.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you guys. Hopefully, you guys are in Pittsburgh in January, next January.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like a 4-hour drive from not even a 4-hour drive from my house. It's like 2.5 hours from here to Penn State, and I think it's like another hour and a half from Penn State to Pitt. So that ain't bad.
So yours is almost like me going to Cincinnati, because Cincinnati is about 4 hours for me.
Yeah, and so you from Cleveland to Ohio or to Pittsburgh is about 4 hours also for you, right?
No, it should be less, because
okay.
I used to go to West Virginia University. So Morgantown from my house, I'll clock it. If I don't stop, it'll be 3 hours and 20 minutes to get to my dorm. So Pittsburgh would be about 3 hours, and then wherever it takes for me to get from the turnoff to go over the Three Rivers Bridge, I'll be right next to the stadium. So it's about 3 hours, 10 minutes or something like that.
That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all.
Yeah, because I just head on over to Youngstown, and it's like a straight drive down.
Yeah.
That'd be great. We get to see each other, Dwayne.
Mm-hmm.
In person.
Yep.
You guys haven't met each other in person yet?
No. We just developed this friendship, and I can't thank him enough. I am so thankful, and it's unbelievable. A friendship, friendships doesn't mean that you have to see each other, know each other personally, shake each other's hands. Friendship, there's so many different types of friendships that you could have. And the friendship that me and Dwayne have, I thank God, and I pray for him every single day of my life. He is one hell of a guy.
Yeah, because it's been a year since we met.
Yeah.
We met on Cool Things. Because at the time I met Chris, I didn't know Mikey Mike. I just heard of him or seen him when he's talking to Cool Things. So that's how we all met. But it seemed like we've known each other forever.
Yeah. It's like peanut butter and jelly. They go together.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys do repeat guests, I don't mind coming back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't mind coming back. It was cool.
I mean, we had Buddy on like how many times? Like 40 times. Then we're gonna start charging him after this.
No, actually, Buddy. No, we didn't have Buddy on that much. If you think about Cool Thing, is the one that's been on our show a lot.
But once is too much with Buddy.
No, they see he's talking a lot of stuff now. Last time Buddy was on, he got mad because see they both like to talk. And see he couldn't out talk Buddy, so he gave us a peace sign and left us hanging. It's like I can't believe he did the Bobby Brown on us. Just quit, just left us.
Oh, I can't laugh. I'm sorry.
Yeah, do it, Dish. I got the joke. It took me a while to get the joke.
And they had the audacity to leave us and then do one of those videos on us. I'm like, dude, I didn't even do anything.
No, I know you did it. But I mean, me and Buddy get along. We're very good friends, and Buddy, he's long-winded like me sometimes. Sometimes he's a lot more long-winded than me, you know. But it was just, I don't know. It was one of those nights, and boom. But here we're back together, and I'm happy.
Yep, and I finally met Kevin too, because we did a wedding together.
When did y'all meet? When did y'all meet, you and Kevin?
It was back in May. The last Saturday in May. He did a wedding where the job that he did required on the contract, it was for 2 people to be there. So he asked me to come down, and I was like the second person.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm excited about being solo op again. Like if I need help, I could just literally go on Instagram and just like make a close, like you can make close friends on Instagram, like section where you do stories. I can just like ping DJs, like if I'm gonna be in Cleveland, I could be like, you know, looking for somebody to help me out this weekend, you know, like I could hit you up, or you know, or like, you know, or there's other DJs, like I don't necessarily have to stick within my multi-op anymore. I have, you know, like again, network is your network, so.
Mm-hmm. So with that said, I gotta remember to say my handle, because I've noticed every week since we came back from that Christmas break, it's like I've been forgetting to say certain things.
Yeah, last week you did it. You did a great job.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, but but I was kind of worried because again, saying trigger words, and it was that day I guess the Wedding Wire and the Knot sent out their awards for 2026. So there was a lot of chatter going back and forth. DJs that was totally against Wedding Wire and the Knot, and ones that was for. So I knew I had Tom on there, so I just wanted to warn them that there was a bunch of chatter. But I think the way we handled it, it was right on. It wasn't platform specific. It was just general best practices.
Yes.
I've never
did a great job.
Gotten an award from
Great job.
in years. I mean, I already got Hall of Fame on the Knot, so at that point I was just like, you know, like any awards afterwards, just a victory lap. So,
so I guess I know 2 Hall of Famers now. Chris is one. Buddy said he has one too.
Yep.
All right. 3 hours, yay! So they was shooting for us. They was rooting for us to try to get 3 hours. So we got 3 hours in.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
All right.
Buddy, top that, man.
Oh, he does that. Actually, he be on there because we be on there late after we go off.
Well, but I mean, yeah, the show's over. You guys keep talking. I mean, stay with a live audience for 3 hours.
Yep.
Like us guys do it.
Yep, but he be on there late.
Oh,
but,
no. We talk about pizza and soda pop, you know?
Yeah. So with that said, remember, before it's time to spin, you got to first cue it up. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. And make sure you go out there and crush those gigs. All right? Take care.
All.
Bye, everyone.
I'ma rise like the sun while the world still sleeps. Scouring the sights looking for new leads. Marathon gigs with no in between. Your worth is from a rear view they seen. They wanna party, but I'm battling fatigue, chasing passion while my mental is still out on leave. It's an everyday hustle, so respect the DJ life. We make it look easy, but the pressure's tight. Cue up the pressure. rooms in the booth where the DJs dwell. Clubbing is a struggle like it's all I've got. Set it up, break it down, travel to the next spot. Ambitions, the engine stay sharp like a tool. Revving through my gigs, power drinks is fuel. It's an everyday hustle, we'll respect the DJ life. We make it look easy, but the pressure's tight. Pressure. Cue up the pressure. The pressure. Pressure. Cue up the pressure. 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 Cue up the pressure. The pressure. Cue up the pressure.